Hey, everybody. How's everybody been? Welcome on back. I'm getting it ready. I'm scrubbing up, brushing my teeth, getting me some damn coffee, because everybody needs some coffee. Eat you a good breakfast, because this thing's about to hit. Hello, everybody.
Hello, darling.
How are you, Deb?
I am well, sir. How are you? I might be a little frostbitten
I'm doing pretty good.
Yeah, we're a little
it's
chilly
really
here in
windy
Oregon.
and cold here today for the first day. Yeah.
We're
We're having the same issue here. Yeah. It's really windy and chilly and like my floor's cold and I'm like, ooh.
Yeah, you can't see it, but I'm bundled up like head to toe, hat on, everything, and I get hot really easy, but not today, man. It is blustery today. It is cold, windy, and we just raked up the yard, and you can't tell that we raked it 10 minutes ago because all the oak leaves fell again. So what's the point?
Yeah, isn't that the bane of our existence in the fall? But we don't have that problem here, so.
Well, it's worth
we
it
have
though.
very
The beauty.
few leafy trees that drop stuff, and when they do, the wind just blows the leaves away. So we don't have a lot of there's no raking of leaves here, but there's no mowing of grass either because very few people have it. So
That's true, and I don't think you can count
pros and
tumbleweeds as
cons.
grass. So
No. I mean, there's some people that actually had soil put down in their yard and they planted grass, and that grows. Got to keep it watered in the summertime, but great timing for the raking. Not, yeah, right, Mark? What's up with that shit?
Yeah.
If there is a God, he's a dick. He's like, oh, you rake that? Watch this shit.
Dude, yeah, no, that's why I keep telling everybody.
Deb,
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, that's why I tell everybody Mother Nature is freaking bipolar, man, because you can't tell one way or another what's going to happen. It's beautiful in the fall, but goddamn these stupid leaves. It's bipolar, man.
It's true. It's definitely true. So, over the last few years, 4 years now, I've been in the community and I've seen people come and go and changes and, people become best friends and people learn to hate each other and all that. And that's totally understandable. We can't all get along. And I don't ever expect all of us to get along all the time. But I do expect a modicum of respect that we should all show each other. Because we all have our own shit. We all have our own struggles. We all have our own journey. We all have different thoughts. And we portray those thoughts in different ways. And just because someone else maybe doesn't think of it like that, it doesn't mean we're not headed down the same road. Mm-hmm. And I really hate that. Hey, Mage and Trees are here. Thanks for coming by, guys. This is going to be interesting. And I want input, and I really want you guys to, let me know how you feel about stuff and how you view it and stuff. So, this is, how I am. I interact with the chat. I'm not just going to ignore you guys during the stream. So yeah, I'm really frustrated because there's been people in the community that I didn't really care for. But I knew it was a conflict of personality thing. So, yes, Mark, most of us do. You're correct. Most of us do. But there's some of us that don't. And there's some of us that just plain old think they're better than other people. Now, I can understand that to a point. You get more famous on YouTube, your head gets a little bigger. Not that mine has, but it's not any bigger than it was when I was at 100 subs or 10. But some people are like that, and I get it. I get it to a point, but also we're supposed to be lifting each other up in this community and not knocking each other down. And we're supposed to be having conversations and not attacking each other, because then what are we any better than the theists then? No, we're not. No, we're not. And I'll be damned if I'm going to stoop as low as most theists do. So Respect is a very important thing, and it's important to show, and it's important to have given back to you, especially when you go out of your way to show it so much as I do. So, there's been recent events of hateful things said, things misunderstood, and instead of people talking about it, they're attacking. They attack. It's like a pattern for some people. Yeah, see, exactly, Mage. You're awesome. You don't have a big head. You're very humbled. Yeah, so all I want everybody to do that to each other, because that's what everybody deserves. No one here can say, I know exactly what so-and-so is doing or going through right now. It's fucking impossible. It goes right back to the native saying, until you walk a mile in a man's moccasins. So, that's the problem I have with it. Mostly because it's just, it's frustrating and it's hurtful. And I see this shit randomly happen. And I don't know why. I just don't understand why people do that. I'm not that person. One person in particular who has been nasty to me lately, I have showed them the utmost respect this entire time. All these years. I've known them for 3 years on YouTube now. And I have shown them respect even though they drive me nuts and I really can't stand hanging around them. But I show them respect because that's what we do in this community. We don't go out and attack each other in front of the whole world. We don't attack each other in chats. We don't attack each other on call-ins. We discuss things. Yeah. My head is getting bigger. I need to die. Speaking of which, Mark, I lost a bunch of weight. Look how thin my face is. Like, I don't have that fat right here. Feels good.
No, you look good.
Hey, nerdy, what's up, buddy? And, you just say that all the time, Deb.
Well, yeah, I'm like your biggest fan. Come on, that's my job. You do look good, though. I told you that yesterday.
You're my my second sister and best friend I could ever have.
Thank you.
Hey, Skits.
Well, Mark, I found it too. He sent some my way. I don't know why he thought he needed to do that, but
You found it. You found respect.
Yeah. No, I found the weight. The weight that you lost found my hips, man. You got to stop it. Don't be so generous.
Oh,
don't have to share everything.
No, Mark said I found it, and I was like, "What'd you find? Respect? That's great. Where is it?" Anyways, hey Randy, I gotta say hi to everybody, and Skits and Trees, and you guys are great. Appreciate y'all showing up and hanging out. And please speak your mind in the chat. I always encourage that. If you disagree with me, tell me. We'll talk about it. And if you want to come up and discuss it, we'll bring people up and we'll discuss it.
Well, that's the key.
So,
isn't it, Beck?
Yeah. So that's what's that?
I said, isn't that the key? You use the word discuss because we are grown-ups and we should be able to conduct ourselves in a manner in which grown-ups can do things. You can be passionate and really feel like, you're, and I'm very passionate about what I do and the stuff that I talk about as well. But to be passionate and to be an adult is also being able to be part of being passionate is be able to hear other people's sides or other people's sides of the story and not treat them or insult them, to actually say, okay, well, now wait a second. I understand that, I hadn't thought about it. Let me look at it. Let me do this. It's called a discussion for a reason. It's not an argument. Nobody wants to have an argument. Arguments suck. Okay. But having a discussion, that's the only way. Yeah. It's the only way things are going to change.
Now,
it's the only way that we're going to educate people.
I will say that I did get frustrated recently. I was in the line chat and I insulted a theist, and one of the mods, who is very kind and nice, said, "Oh, don't use that person's name here." And I was like, did I just get timed out for insulting a theist? And they were like, no, you got it timed out because you used that person's name. And I was like, oh. And then I got timed out again. And then I got timed out again by one particular mod, and who was being an asshole to me. So I told that mod to fuck off, and that I won't be back, because this is not the first time I've seen them be a jerk to other people, and this is not the first time that people have been driven away from the chat because of this one mod. So I told him to fuck off. I said, I don't give a shit who you think you are. I'm sick of this crap. I'm sick of the toxic stuff. I'm sick of people attacking each other instead of just having a conversation. So I said, fuck off. And I said, it's really sad because I love all the hosts online and most of the mods, but you're a problem. And I left them the middle finger, and I left. So, because of all that, this turned into a big hoopla. And mind you, the same person I was insulting, I called in on Skeptic Haven when I was on. So, right before the thing happened in the other chat. So, yeah, so I have been banned places and kicked off of co-hosting a certain place that I was looking forward to having great discussions on. Because I don't even know. I mean, once they said don't use the person's name, I used just their first initial so I wouldn't hurt anyone's feelings, so I could say I don't understand why I'm in trouble, you know? I tried to be considerate. I tried to discuss it. I got attacked. And then I got attacked again. And then I got attacked again. So, yeah, I'm just really frustrated with some parts of this community. I have since unsubscribed from all of those channels attached, and I'm done with all that shit. I'm not going to support people who attack me and act like I don't know what it's like to be trans. That's literally like going to an atheist and saying, you don't know what it's like to be picked on by Christians because you don't believe. The fuck? Yeah, you do. We all get it. We all get harassed.
It's going to take me a few minutes to recover from that one, because I'm like, how the... Sorry, that's funny. You don't know what it's like to be trans.
I know.
Right, well,
I know. Oh, you're an asshole. You don't understand. Wait, what?
What?
What? I'm sorry? Do you know how many times I've been called she by theists online? I don't understand. Are you fucking kidding me right now?
Yeah.
So, anyways, so I think that we as a whole, as a community, need to start having better discussions. We need to stop backstabbing each other. We need to stop telling people to fuck off and then expecting them to apologize. Because you come at me and you tell me to fuck off, do you think I'm going to come back and apologize to you for anything? And when I said in the chat, I refuse to have this discussion through a text message, direct message, because words get twisted. And they said, fuck off, Beck.
Well, okay.
And then 3 a.m., you need to apologize. Well, you know what? You don't catch flies with fucking vinegar. No, and you don't attack people and expect things to be okay. Yeah. So
see, I agree with Randall.
And
100%
the funny
right there.
thing is, let's see. Well, if they're going to be that childish, there's no need to get... Exactly. I blocked the shit out of them. They're gone. Yeah. And I was very nice. And I told them exactly how I felt about them for the first time. And I said, do not contact me again. Forget I exist, or this will not be as kind next time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I'll tell you the rest of what I think about you. So, I only said things to them that affects the entire community. I did not say anything to them that affects only me. So, yes, nerdy, block buttons are cool, aren't they?
They're the best thing ever
invented. What I did. When the person wasn't going to listen to me and they were attacking me over and over again and telling you how I'm wrong and I don't understand, I said my piece and I said, I'm going to do what other people have done to me. And I sent a message and I fucking blocked them right after. And I blocked them on YouTube and I blocked them everywhere. So I don't have to fucking deal with their ass. You know, the bottom line is I have always tried and achieved showing everybody compassion and respect. I'm autistic. It's not even easy for me to show compassion. I have to struggle to do that every day because I don't understand. Unless something has happened to me and the exact same thing has happened to the other person, I have no empathy for that person. It's just part of the disease that I have. But yet I still go out of my way to say, hey, how are you doing? Are you okay? And a matter of fact, when this same person needed money last year, I sent them some.
Yeah.
I didn't even get a thank you.
Yeah.
So, you can only get smacked in the face so many times before you have to say, fuck off. Beck, the lowdown on how you present to me is that I have never considered you female and don't even consider female pronouns to think of you. So, yeah, successful. Thank you, Mark. And it's funny because all of my old friends and stuff, people I knew years ago, women I dated who only dated men but dated me because it was just me. It had nothing to do with my body. They all saw me as that, and which is great and appreciated. And I love them for it, for telling me the truth, that they were like, I'm not shocked that you're transitioning. You've always been a guy. Like, you're just changing facial hair and body parts. Like, yeah.
I still remembered when you told me you were trans. I went, what? What is that? You can't be. Really? I remember that day very well. I was so shocked. It was unreal.
So you guys, here's the joke for anybody that doesn't know. Here's what's funny about it. So after I started hanging out with Mom and Deb a little bit and met her and everything, and we were flirting back and forth. But you guys, the guys in the chat, they all know I flirt with whatever chick online that I just feel like flirting with. I just play around, flirt with everybody. Well, Deb was over here like seriously flirting, and then the flirting got a little more serious. And then I said, wait a minute, hold on. I don't think she knows I'm trans. So I said, Deb, you know I'm trans, right? She was like, fuck you say? And I said, I'm trans. I was born a female. And she was like, I
did.
She didn't know what to do with it for a minute. Then like the next day she gets a hold of me and said, I've come to a revelation. And I said, what's that? She said, I must be pansexual because I don't care what's in your pants. I'm just attracted to you. And we have been best friends ever since.
It's just a straight truth.
I mean, it is the truth. But also you found out more about yourself because we had that discussion, which I love.
Absolutely.
I love when people expand their minds, expand their horizons, look outside the little box that they've been living in.
But I think that's part of what this community is about.
It's just. Go ahead.
I said, I think that's part of what this community is about, is that expanding yourself and being able to really just start to think about things in a different light or a different way. And part of that is, about what we're talking about today is being respectful of it. I mean, and my situation, Beck. I live with my father-in-law lives with my husband and I, and he is a theist. He is a hardcore Bible thumping, save me from God knows what. And, I love the man. I do. I love the man. I don't agree with him on hardly anything. He's even a flat earther, which I have a really hard time with as well. But we just recently had a discussion, and I said, why do you believe this? And he showed me something in the Bible, and I said, so this is where you say you're a flat earther. And I go, yes. I go, so this. And he goes, yeah, this little bit here. And I said, well, what about this? What about the rest of it? What about everything, that you got to put together and all that stuff? You got to think about all the whole context of things. You got to think about things the way they were meant to be thought about, the way they were meant to be shared or what have you, not the way somebody cut it apart or what have you. He just looked at me and goes, huh. I go, just food for that. Just food for that, But because he's a conspiracy theorist. If there's a conspiracy out there, my father-in-law knows something about it. He's fairly certain that the NFL is rigged now, and that guy last year died and somebody has taken his place. It's not really him. We just, what are you going to do?
Oh, really? The guy that came back after the almost fatal
arrest.
Heart attack on the field? Oh, come on.
Yeah. And I was trying to explain to him
he's
what
cloned.
actually
That's
happened.
what it is. In just a few months, they cloned him. Yep, that's impressive.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
That's really impressive. But anyway.
But it's, that's what it is. It's yeah. Oh, absolutely, Randall.
I
Absolutely.
agree, Randy. I absolutely 100%. And Mark, I just want to say thank you very much for the compliment. That means a lot to me, and it
So
humbles
is it
me that you
Randall?
guys see me like
Does
that. So thank you.
Hi, Purple. So Beck, does he go by Randall or does he go by Randy?
Randy.
Randy. Okay.
Randy. He's also Harmonica Man, if you've ever seen that name.
Okay, yeah, I have seen it.
He actually plays like amazing harmonica stuff. Like amazing. He goes out and makes money off of it. Like he does shit. Right? He's actually a harmonica man. Yeah.
Nice. Oh, I love the harmonica. Ooh, what's he cooking
enjoy
for
the dinner, Mage. You know, time with family is important. Yeah, do it.
I want to know what they're making.
Do it. Hi, Perps. Well, they invited Mage over for dinner, so we don't know if Mage knows. If Mage is like me, if someone says free food, you should come over, I'm going to be there.
Excuse me, I didn't have to cook it. Food? I'm coming.
It's homemade. Oh, I'm coming. Yeah. No, I want homemade food. I want someone else to cook for me. There's nothing better than like you said, Deb, you love to feed people, and you know, it's just showing love, you know, and if somebody wants to show me love by filling my belly, I am all for it.
Exactly. No, that's exactly
do what you love and love what you do. That's right, Randy.
Yeah, Randy, that's straight truth right there. Because my again, my father-in-law, this is what cracks me up about my father-in-law. Again, we agree on nothing, but he was a professional dancer and he is a music hound. I don't know what else to call it, because I've never seen a record collection like what I have going on in my house. I mean, so much so that like I have, you know, white albums, like multiple copies of them in my house, you know, all kinds of stuff, right? But he just, sometimes the way he thinks, you know, I'm just like, God, could we just talk about music? Because I don't want to talk about stuff that's, you know, we're going to disagree on, because I agree one way and I think one way, but I can't have to be really careful. Also, he's the older generation. So back, you and I were raised, and probably a lot of people like that were raised. It's an older generation. So you have to talk to them differently.
You just showed respect. See what I mean? Was that hard?
Yeah. No.
Was that hard to show somebody respect that you know or care about, or give a shit if they're breathing the next day and you see them on YouTube or anything? Like that's all I'm asking. I just want people to show each other respect. I want to have discussions about things. I'm not saying I'm perfect. Yeah, I popped off in the chat and got angry. Yeah, I did. I was having a bad day and I was exhausted, and you know, it was just timing. You know, it was bad timing. I had just been chewed out for having a discussion right before that. You know, I wasn't in a really good place. I should have just kept my mouth shut is what I should have done. And I'll admit that because I'm a fucking adult. And I know I should have popped off like that. Because it offended everybody instead of just the person that I was trying to offend. And that was my mistake. Even though I aimed it at them and said at you, jerk, it still offended other people. So that was my mistake. And I will fucking totally own that. But
that's like being a grown-up's about.
Aware of the rules in chat. Yeah, if someone's not aware of your rules in your chat, just tell them like the other mod did.
Yeah.
All I did was ask a question after that. I wasn't rude. I just said I just got in trouble for insulting a theist, and they were like, no, that's not what it was about. And I was like, oh. Well, but by then I was angry because I was being timed out and I was not able to speak, and that's not okay. You know, we all have a right to freedom of speech, folks. We have a right to stand up for ourselves, and everybody should be given that right. Everybody should be given the right to explain when someone misunderstands something, especially when they're telling you, no, you're misunderstanding me. Like at that point, you should go, oh, wait, what are you talking about? You know, what's going on?
Yeah, stop. Let's roll it back.
Saying, oh, this is what I think is going on because I'm in a negative mood. So it's automatically going to be negative. Like, that's just horrible. It's no way to treat each other. You know,
it's not. It's absolutely not.
This is exactly what's wrong with the world. That's what's wrong with the world. People don't respect each other. I'm not a religious person, but if someone wants to follow a religion, go for it. That's your fucking waste of time and problem. I'll
Does it
tell
work
them
for
I
you?
think they're wrong. I'll
Yeah.
tell them I don't believe there is a God. And if they go, well, I believe it, then I'm like, cool, we just won't talk about it because we disagree. And I've done that with many people. I did that with my ex-brother for fucking 11 years. Listen to him talk about it, and change the subject and moved on, because that was something he cared about. So I showed him respect. Speaking of the topic, Beck and Deb are the best people to befriend. I cannot stress this enough. Listen to them about that subject. Aw.
We love you too, Kyle.
Love you too, bro. Actually, he's kind of like our son. Deb and I have kind of adopted him.
Yeah.
So we are parents by proxy, I guess you'd call it.
yeah, that works. I still can't get you to change your name to Daddy Beck, even though I think it's fitting, but whatever.
There are a couple channels I have unsubbed to because I was targeted by mods in the chat. Hell, I think of it as a win. Me too. Honestly, Mark, I was like, I don't need to be around these toxic people. I don't need to be around people yelling at each other, yelling at theists instead of trying to have a discussion. That's not how you get things done. There are some people in the community, it doesn't bother me that they do that. For instance, like Matt Dillahunty. He's been talking about this shit for 20 plus years. If anybody's allowed to be frustrated with theists, it's fucking Matt Dillahunty. So I still respect him, genuinely respect him, because I know that he is a good guy. And I know that Art is a good person. They are both good people. Just Matt's frustrated because they keep coming back, the same people with the same rhetoric with no answers. And he just wants to have a fucking discussion that moves forward. And they can't do that. So yes, I get it why he does that. But that's not all of us. We all haven't been sitting here doing this for 23 or 25 years the way he has. I think it's been maybe more than 25 now. I don't know, a long time. So I really respect it. Oh, would you like to come in, Jeff? I can send you a link if you want to come on and discuss it, because I would love to hear someone outside of the US's points of view on all this stuff. So if you want to, please let me know. Grown adults disagreeing without being disrespectful. Who would ever think of that? Grown ups, insane. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I grew up in a household where my mom believed, because there were so many of us and we were all crammed into a small house, and we would fight and we would argue, and she would let us fight to a point. If blood popped up, shit stopped. That's it. But you can go outside and tumble around and rumble around a little bit. Now, I kind of wish you wouldn't have done that, because I grew up thinking fighting was okay. And it made me grow up very angry. But we still, anything that we still respected our mother. I didn't respect my father. He never fucking deserved any respect. But we still respected our mother. We still, we still would sit down and talk about it later. Even after all that, Mom would make us say, now you need to sit down and get the anger out of the way. Let's talk about this, Yeah. And she refused to let us disrespect each other we could say some shit, but there was a point that no, you're not going to say that about your sibling, So, okay. Let me send you a link there, God.
I think that's the big difference, I think, with us, Beck, is that in the way I was raised was that what the parents said was it, and you didn't question it, and you weren't. And I came from Garrett. Sorry, I called you my son's name. Beck had a very loving mother, a very kind and loving mother. There was no question that he was loved in her house. Whereas I had an abusive mom, manipulative mom. So when it came time for me to teach my children, I tried to teach them the way that I was raised, and you can't do that. So I changed it from that to, I have some of the, I might be a little biased because they're my kids, but I have some of the best adults as children. They're freaking amazing people. They're free thinkers. They're able to have discussions about, in a respectful manner, except for my youngest one. My youngest one and I, we get a little hot-headed because we are so much like personality-wise. It drives the rest of the family crazy. But it's always, when it's said and done, it's always, I love you, Mom. Like, I love you, son, whatever, even if we disagree. But the thing is like, I was never taught those skills as a child. I just was taught to shut up and accept what's being done, what's being said. what's being said to you by an adult.
Yeah.
You just, that's the way it was. And to be able to teach my children to be free thinkers and to be able to be open and honest with their communications. This is a skill that I've had to learn through therapy because I wasn't that way. And I know you're going to find this very shocking.
No, yeah, people are.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say it's something that I've done with some work I've done recently with my therapist. And I haven't said this to a lot of people because I had to say it to my kids first because they were the ones who were affected the most. But I have narcissistic tendencies and I didn't realize that. And I have them. And now that I know what they are, it kind of disgusts me the way I used to handle myself. And now as an adult, as an adult, a 50-year-old, almost 54, nobody heard that, year-old adult, I definitely am a better communicator. I can definitely sit down and have communications and be respectful because my line is when we're at an impasse in a discussion and everything's getting heated, I just look at them and say, this is my line. Does that work for you? What you're talking about and the way you believe, does it work for you? Does it make you happy? Does it fulfill you? If their answer is yes, I'm like, good for you, but it doesn't work for me. So can we move on and still be friends? Because that's what adults do. And that's the way it should be. And that's the way that, because back to what you were saying about people being, respecting people, I firmly believe that until you prove me wrong, and many people will prove me wrong, that, just being a human being and walking this planet, and I believe that most people are good. I believe that you deserve some respect. And if you're homeless or you're a drug user or whatever, you still reserve human dignity, and I will treat you as such, and I will treat you accordingly. I don't disrespect people until I have no choice left, because I hate being disrespected and I hate being pushed aside like I'm nothing. And that's what disrespect feels like to me. It makes me feel like I'm being told I am less than the person arguing with me or what have you, because they cannot take the time to say, hey, wait a minute, let's see what Deborah's saying. Let's listen, because a lot of people can hear, but not a whole lot of people can listen. And that's the big difference.
Oh, yeah. There's huge difference there. Absolutely. And, Mark said youngster. So Mark, oh, hey, Michael Granato's in here too. Nice to see you, friend.
So
how you doing?
Can I answer Mark's question there? Yeah.
Mark said, Deb, do you think of your successful kids as a result of nature, nurture, or a combination of both?
They are a combination of both. And the reason I say that is because the person that my daughter calls dad is not her biological father. He is her stepfather. My two boys he is also their stepdad. And it is absolutely nature and nurture, because my youngest son came to me as an adult, probably about 19 or 20 years old, and said to me, you know what the best thing you did for me as a man was, Mom? And I said, what was that? Because what do I know about being a man? I know how to be a good human being. I don't know how to be a man. That's not who I am. I'm not a man. He said, the best thing you did for me as a man was to marry Rusty, which is my husband, his stepdad. He goes, that's the best thing you did, because he taught me how to be the man I am today. And he goes, and you gave me the tools to get there, but he taught me how to shape it. So it's definitely a combination of both. And I think that it took a village, because I don't believe that you can singularly do anything, like I might be getting off topic, but it's kind of on the question. Like, when we were doing the whole thing with women were like, oh, I don't need no man to have no baby. I don't need no man to raise my child. You don't. You're absolutely right. You don't. But your child does. Your child needs a father. Your child needs a male figure, needs a female figure, whether it's a father, a mother, an aunt,
and it could
uncle,
be
grandma, grandpa. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, and that male influence figure could be, like, for instance, I was a kind of a male figure for my nieces and nephews.
Yes.
I didn't play Barbies with them. I went out and played basketball with them and threw the football, and we talked about stuff, and they'd come over, and we had like a whole band set up in our house, and they'd come over and play our drums and stuff. It was all uncle stuff, and to this day, those kids, despite everything that's happened in all of our lives, they still respect me. And if I say something to them, they listen. We don't talk very often, but we don't need to, because that love and that respect will always be there, because they know no matter what, I'd kill somebody. If somebody was going after one of my nieces or nephews, I'd kill somebody for him. I'd have no problem doing that. I would save their lives and just go to jail because I love them all that much. All dozens of them.
Oh yeah, no, it definitely takes a village.
I don't know, between the greats and everything, I think I have like 22 nieces, nephews, great nieces, great nephews now.
I still got you beat, but you know,
it's a lot of
my family's nuts. I have just one more kid in my family than you do. So
yeah. So hi, Jeff.
Hey Beck, how you going?
Oh, I can't hear you, buddy. Oh, there you are.
Oh,
hey.
Oh,
how are you,
hear
my
me
friend?
now? Sorry. I'm not bad. Just forgive me if I don't go on camera. I am a little under the weather at the moment, so
that's okay. That was me earlier this week.
Don't worry about it, my friend. Don't worry about it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she had the flu for a week, so she's just feeling better.
Awful.
Mark Caesar, my body count. I got to answer this before we get serious again. My body count is 0 because none of my nieces or nephews take shit. So I don't have to worry about it. And most of them are bigger than me, like taller, stronger, bigger. So I feel like they pretty much got each other's backs. I don't have to do that. Yeah, so okay, here we go. This is absolutely on subject. Question for Deb at What the Beck. I'm an educator and I have to have regular conversations about social media and treating people with basic dignity. How do you approach that with your kids?
When my kids were growing up now, because my kids are all much older nowadays. I think my daughter is 33, my oldest, and my youngest is 25. But so when I was growing up, when they were growing up, social media was a very new thing. And in our house, they weren't allowed to have social media until they were like 13. But it's the thing that we've always said to our kids, mine and Rusty's kids. We've always said, if you weren't going to say it to someone's face, then you have no business typing it or saying it at all, because you absolutely respect a person enough. And if you have that kind of feelings about them, or you respect yourself, let me take that back, not that person, but you respect yourself enough to say, this is who I am, this is my opinion, and this is the way that we're going to go about it. Because if you're going to hide behind a keyboard, and my husband calls them keyboard warriors. If you're going to hide behind a keyboard, and you're gonna do that kind of stuff, no, there's no validity, I guess, in your thoughts and your processes, in my opinion. At that point, because you're hiding and you're not actually going to be upfront, and you want everybody to take you seriously, but you don't want to put yourself out there like everybody else is and having a real honest to God conversation. You know, I mean, don't get me wrong, you guys, I'm not perfect. Beck can tell you about the times that I've lost my cool online. And like I said, Beck is one of my very best friends. And it was on his show and it was at him.
Yes, but
one time.
Pause.
Yes.
You got angry.
I did.
Stepped out, took a deep breath, and came back and apologized and admitted to your fault, and admitted to more than you should have, because you didn't even do all of that just to diffuse the situation. That's called maturity.
That's what grown-ups do.
You fucked up. You came. You said, "Can I come back and apologize?" And I brought you right back on, and you apologized, and we all went on with the conversation, except for that other person. And that's what I'm talking about. You know, I don't have a problem saying that I blew up in the Lines chat. I mean, I'm not that it wasn't totally undeserved, but I handled it wrong. You know, I should have, been more kind about it. I should have been more respectful. And I know that. But again, I can admit that. What kills me is these people, and they attack you like through Twitter, and then you tell them, hey, let's have a discussion. I'm not going to do this texting thing. That's exactly what I said. I don't want to do this texting direct message thing. And I got told to fuck off because I wanted to have a conversation about it. Yeah. That's not fair. That's not fair to either party, actually. Well, they're being unfair to themselves. It's just not the way to handle it. Because now they're mad about something that they shouldn't even be mad about because they have no idea what my side of it was. They didn't even give me a chance to explain. So that's part of that respect thing. Go ahead, Jeff.
I was going to say that, I mean, there's been not one live stream where I won't say with who, but like there was a miscommunication, shall we say. And I ended up storming out of the stream for a few minutes, and I could have easily just like rage quit the entire stream, but I kind of came back, and with the person I had the disagreement with, we kind of got past it because we kind of realized that we were talking past one another rather than to one another. And as a result of that, we got past it rather quickly. And I think if we'd just been gone to like social, like, I don't know, Twitter or whatever afterwards, I think it would have blown up into something a lot worse than it actually was.
Oh yeah. I think that you're absolutely correct.
I have never seen an apple. Real quick, I have never seen an apple of a different color before. Welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for coming by. If I know you, then it's good to see you. If I don't know you, then welcome and join the discussion. We have great people here. There's no assholes in my chat. So welcome.
I think it's
Twitter is such a horrible place for
isn't it? But only me, but I'm your kind of asshole, so
I like you.
It's like I tell everybody. Like Deb always goes, I'm crazy. And I'm like, but it doesn't matter because you found a husband that's your type of crazy. That's all that matters.
He loves my type of crazy.
We just have to find each other's type of crazies.
Yeah.
We're all nuts here. Everybody's a little nuts. Everybody needs a fucking therapist. That's life, man. Look around you. What's going on? And that's my other point. With all the shit going on in this world, people are nitpicking and attacking each other without having conversations. And then they're saying, why are you guys having a war? Well, because they didn't communicate. Now, what are you doing right now? You're doing the same fucking thing.
Yeah.
You're not having a fucking respectful conversation with each other. You're attacking each other. I mean, okay, it's with words and not bombs. Glad for that. But the point is, it's still attacking each other. It's still a lack of communication. It's still a lack of diplomacy, no matter what.
And I think Godless had a really great point there.
I don't count you, Mark. You just go ahead.
When he said that, he could have very easily rage quit. He could have very easily took it to another social media platform and really just blown it out of proportion, what have you. And that's absolutely, and it's one of the hardest things for me because I'm a very emotional person. Beck will back me up. Absolutely. I lead with my heart all the time. But that's something I've had to learn to do is take a step back, do my raging in private, my screaming, my yelling, calling names, and then come back and go, okay, now I can be an adult and now we can continue and get past what we just did. Because I think that is, if everybody took that few seconds or whatever they need to stop and think before they react, then I think it would be a lot easier to get past these kinds of situations. And we wouldn't have, the world sucks as it is. Why you want to make your corner of the world suck even more by being like that? I like my corner to be happy, and I like it to be a good place. I don't want anger and negativity in it. It's hard enough,
Yeah. And all it does is bring more divisiveness into our community. And we don't need more of that. We need to support each other. We need to lift each other up. We need to be there when someone's having a bad day. We need to be there when, like, for instance, if you guys look at my description, if anybody wants to copy and paste it into the chat, that is a mod. I will be happy to pin it. Look at my description. Purple and Sloth Girl are still struggling to pay to fix their van. It's winter now. Sloth Girl has, because they're in Minnesota, so there's winter's already coming. And Sloth Girl has appointments for her cancer. So if anybody can help, please go help. The link is down there. If you cannot help, please share it out so someone who can help knows that it exists. Purple and Sloth Girl, especially Purple, has been here and helped everybody in the community, has spearheaded almost every single fundraiser we have done to help somebody, has spent hours online running the fundraisers and putting their heart and soul into it. So I just want to get back to Perps because Perps is an amazing person. So
and also this does that fantastic thing every year at Christmas that Perp does as well.
Every holiday, all the big holidays. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Does a Christmas stream for everybody like me and other people that are home alone for the holidays. Purple's just, I can't even. I'm probably embarrassing her right now, but I don't care. I love her to death, and she's just a great person. So, if you guys,
there's nothing not to love about her. She's a great person.
I know, just the best heart, right? Mark
Yeah.
Caesar says my secret is not raging to not raging is asking myself what went wrong in someone's day to make them act like that. Works well in real life too. And and that's part of the thing that on my side that I'm battling with right now. For those of you who do not know, I have been diagnosed a few months back with chronic kidney disease. It's 3A. It's not a dialysis thing yet, but it can shorten my lifespan. So I've had to deal with the fact that at 52, I might not be alive at 72. So, I mean, we all know we're going to go, but we always hope we're going to make it to like 80 or 90 or whatever's common in our family. In my family, it's into their 90s, short of a random cancer, heart attack, and car accidents. Like everybody in my
I didn't know
family
that,
was into
Beck.
their 90s. So I expected.
Sorry, I didn't know that, Beck. I'm
Go ahead,
sorry to
Jeff.
hear that. So I just want that's all I was going to say. I'm sorry to hear that. First I heard I've heard that. So
yeah, so my point of view, I've done a lot of thinking and reanalyzing and stuff, and basically, I just don't have time to fuck with those people. I'm not going to waste my energy on it. I have a new job that can turn into a great career for me. I'm working in a hospital, and anybody that's ever worked in a hospital, once you start working in a hospital and get your foot in, you can, they'll educate you and they'll help you and you can advance and, all this shit. So it's a big deal for me. And I have reconnected with an old friend, and we're starting out with trying to figure out who we are now, because we haven't really talked much in fucking 20 years. But we're enjoying talking to each other, and it might become something better. And so I don't want to focus on the negative right now. I want all of us to be kind to each other. I want everyone to recognize, just like Mark Caesar did, that everybody's going through some shit right now. And if you don't know, or if someone acts crabby and they're normally happy like me, like how often you guys see me get really angry? And when I do get angry, what do you guys do? You're like, you guys are messaging me saying, hey man, are you okay? Because you know I'm not like that. So when you see someone, like if I see Deb pop off, I'm going to be like, damn, Deb, what the fuck's going on? And every single time she's going to say, I'm having mental health issues and it's bothering me right now. And that's the way it's going to be. And that is the way it is for the majority of our community. We don't just yell at each other and attack each other. So when you see somebody doing that in the community, look at that person and say, that's not them. Don't get mad at them. Have a discussion with them. Ask them what's going on in their life. Be a friend to them. Just show them a little compassion. And yes, it's hard for me because I'm autistic to do that, but I do it anyways. I make myself do it because I know it's important to that other person. It has nothing to do with me. I want that other person I want everybody to be happy. I want everybody to live full lives. I want everybody to have whatever they want, a significant other, or live alone out in the woods, or live in the top of a fucking tower in New York City full of 1,000 million people. I don't care. You do you. Be happy. And if anything I can do to help people get to that happiness, I'll fucking do it. And and everybody here that knows me, you guys have known me for years, I don't go out and just attack people. So when you see that, help each other out, man. Show some fucking compassion. Ask what's wrong. And thank you, Mark, for saying that. You made me think of that, so I appreciate you. Oh, Chaos. How are you?
Chaos. Long time no see.
Hey up. Chaos. Oh, I miss your face. I'm talking about another amazing person in our community that has a great heart. Yes, Chaos. Mark, I just did my first week of... Oh, I'm sorry, Jeff. Go ahead. What?
No, I just say love Chaos to bits. That's all. So.
Yeah. Chaos is great. I did start. I started last Monday. I did my orientation. Did 4 days of training. I still have some more training to do. Catching on to it pretty quick. And I am very lucky. Apparently, somebody saw something in me, and I appreciate that. The way the hospital I work for now does it is the managers don't do the interviewing. The employees, the top employees that have to work with that person are the ones that do the interviews. And then they do a panel of 3 people, and they're all like coordinators / leaders, whereas I'm just a regular distribution person. They're coordinators and leaders. So they interview us. And I got lucky enough that I get to help the guy that stocks the OR and deals with the OR stuff, which to me is I'm helping people save people's lives. So I'm excited about it. I love the fact that I get to any capacity that I can help in the medical field, I will fucking do it. I've done basic EMT work. I've worked in a medical office for a year. I've been trying to get more into the medical community. And they did all of the bells and whistles on me, background checks. They do all that. If you don't pass one little thing, you're gone. You have to have a perfect record, perfect this, perfect that. And luckily I've never been caught. I mean, I've never done anything wrong. Randy, I'm right here with you, Beck. My team of doctors tell me I won't make it till retirement. See, and Randy, I know that. And I know it's tough on you, man. If there was something I could do to fix it or make it better, I would. If I was rich,
I'm sorry to hear that,
if I was
Randy.
rich, I'd just pay your way so you can just sit and relax and enjoy what you have left. Yeah, Randy's got some shitty medical problems. Has for a long time.
I'm really sorry to hear that. I don't like to hear that about anybody.
That depresses the hell out of me.
There we go. Thank
anyone,
you,
honestly.
Kyle. Yeah.
I have to step away for 1 second. Back. I'll be right back.
The point is, yes, ma'am. The point is we all have stuff in the background that we don't go around talking about. Because, I'm one of those, it is what it is, people. There's nothing I can do about it. There's no healing it. There's no correcting it. I only have one kidney. The damage to the other kidney, I guess it did acquire some damage when I lost the first one. And it's just coming back to me. And it is what it is. I was working hard and I fell off a ladder. There's nothing I can do about it now. So I'm not going to sit here and cry and whine about it. I did that for a couple days and cried a little bit and got it out of my system. And I refuse to spend more time on it than that because, despite anything, I still have a future somewhere. I don't know exactly what my future is because I'm not fucking psychic or prophetic, but I know I have a future. And even if it's cut 10 years short or 15 years short or 20 years short, and I'm not going to, no, I can't get you a prescription for hash in Canada. But anyways, yeah. So let's be compassionate of each other. Like half you people probably didn't even know that Randy had health problems. I've known because I've known Randy for almost 4 years now. I met him. He was one of the first people I met when I came into the community. And we've had conversations and stuff. But yeah, let's think about what the other person's going through. That's what I'm doing, Mark. You know what I'm going to do, Mark? I'm going to break the statistics. Fuck those statistics. You ain't telling me that I have to go by your statistic. I'm going to prove them all fucking wrong. And I'm going to bump that statistic % of years up for everybody else that has to look at that number. That's my goal. What? Quit meowing. See, he's got to have tension in the middle of attention in the middle of the conversation. You should feel ashamed if you can help someone at no cost to yourself and you don't do that. Absolutely. Absolutely. I used to, everywhere I've lived, I've bumped into a younger person that had financial issues, whether it was food or I met this one guy, he lost his apartment and he was sleeping at the job site, like in the fall into the winter, saving up money. He didn't have a way to go to a store. He had no transportation. He had nothing. He got booted out with like 3 bags full of clothes. So I picked him up every morning. I brought him to work just so he wouldn't have to walk 4 miles. It was a little bit out of my way, but I didn't care. I have a vehicle. I have a heater. This poor little guy who was from like, God, I don't remember, Guatemala or something, Puerto Rico. I don't remember. He's from a very hot environment. And he's like curled up in painting tarps trying to sleep. Now, did I have a place for him to sleep? No, I didn't. I was living with other people. We were all sharing a space. It was not entirely my choice. But he got an apartment right away and he got an apartment next to me. And he said, I did this because I know you're helping me and I want to make it easier on you to help me. So he literally got an apartment right next door to me. So he could walk over in the morning, and every morning I came out, he was standing there in the cold waiting by the truck. You ready, Beck? Let's go paint. And I didn't really think about it much, but the last time I saw him, he shook my hand and looked me in the eye like he never does with anybody else. He's just not that guy. He's kind of timid and quiet. And he said, thank you. I would not be here without you. And I said, that's not true, Caesar. You would have made it through. And he said, no, I wouldn't have. I was ready to give up, Beck. I was ready to give up. You saved my life. And he started crying. So it's giving me chills right now because I remember it so clearly. And I said, dude, I'm just helping out a fellow human. It's what we're supposed to do. And he said, well, I appreciate it. And it made a big impact on me. So every time I moved to another city after that and somebody said to me, hey, can you give me a ride? I don't turn people down anymore. Even if I don't like them much. I was in a therapy thing for months. We went 3 days a week for months and months. We were doing this therapy. It was like 4 months or something. It was like this intense outpatient therapy. And this girl there irritated the shit out of me. And she just said weird, crude things and made comments. And it was like everything was about her in the room. And it was just really irritating. But then she asked me for a ride home. I gave her a ride home because her car broke down and she shouldn't have to walk 4 miles in fucking Santa Fe heat. So I gave her a ride home anyway. She invited me inside, offered me a drink. I was like, no, I'm good. Thank you. But just want to make sure you're home. So see you later. You know, we don't have to like each other to be kind to each other. There's several people in the community that fucking drive me up the wall, like 3 of them, maybe 4. But it's okay. We have a different, personality.
Like me, who's in the stream right now.
Oh, shut up, Jeff.
I jest, of course, but you know.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. But I mean, it happens. I guarantee you, everybody in this chat has 1 to 3 people in this community that they're just like, God, I just don't want to hang out with them. You don't hate them, just don't like them much. And that happens. We all have different personalities, different backgrounds, different thoughts, different ideas, we're all different. It's what makes our community so great. We need to quit attacking the difference and fucking enjoy it. Enjoy we have the diversity. Enjoy we have all these amazing brains in one area that we can all have these discussions and fucking pump each other up. That's what we need to do.
Well, I think sometimes it's like you know, 1 or 2 people in the community that, because I didn't understand how to take them to begin with.
Didn't even know that.
I really couldn't stand them, but I've got to know them a bit better and understand what they're about, whatever, and actually really like them and get a bit of a kick out of them. Like I'll give you, okay, I'll say one guy publicly, the name Stool. I had no idea how to take that guy when I first came across him, but I've really got to enjoy his sense of humor after a while, you know, once I understood how to take it, you know.
No, I can.
Well, that's just like the divide. Oh, I'm sorry, Jeff. Say that again.
No, I was just saying no. Just what I was saying is after a while, when I understood how the guy's sense of humor, I was like, okay, yeah, I actually really I really got a kick out of it, you know, after a while once I understood it. You know?
Yeah, and that's like when I first came in the community, I was hanging out on MDD, and everybody knows Stupid Whore Energy, right, Sarah? And she will mouth off some crazy shit, and I didn't know how to take her. I was like, man, she's mean. No, she's literally just severely sarcastic, and she's actually hilarious. And once I realized it was sarcasm because someone said, that's not cool, you said that, and somebody else said, no, you don't know Stupid Whore Energy, she meant it like this. And Sarah agreed and said, yeah, that's exactly how I meant it. You know, it was a joke. And then I was like, oh, she just, yes, Chaos. Yes, Stool is another one I didn't understand when I first met him. I was like, he's a dick. He's hilarious.
Yeah,
I just didn't understand the sense of humor. We all come from these different backgrounds.
That's exactly what I just said. Stool's always going to be the example of that, because that's the example I just gave and Chaos just gave. Like, Stool, I had no idea how to take that guy when I first met him. I get a serious kick out of him now because I understand his humor, you know.
I had to ask. I had to ask Beck,
Yeah.
what the heck is going on with that guy? Because for some reason he just thought it was hysterical when I first came to the community. I felt like he was picking on me, and I was like, why does this guy not like me? And I finally asked Beck, and I said, why doesn't he like me? He goes, oh no, you don't understand. He really does like you, and that's what he's doing. That's how he's showing you that he really does like you, Deb. I'm like, gosh, okay, because
If
I
he
thought
doesn't
he
like
hated
you,
me.
he just won't say anything to you.
I'll just
Yeah,
say,
no, if
say,
Stool doesn't like you, he just won't say anything to you.
Yeah.
But if he jokes around with you or teases you or picks on
if he's
you,
taking,
that's affection from Stool.
as we Brits say, if he's taking the piss out of you, that means he likes you.
Aha. Well, then he must love me because
Yeah,
he used to
that's
think
exactly
it was hysterical
Stool is
to
great.
pick on me constantly.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's a sign of affection from that guy, honestly. Yeah.
He's fun. He's fun. I like him.
Oh, I love him to bits now. But I've got to admit, when I first met him, I was like, and I'm a fellow Brit, okay, like I understand British humour. Believe me, I didn't know how to take him at first. And now I'm like, yeah, he's actually now. Once I got him, I'm like, oh, he is one of the funniest guys I know. He really is.
Yeah, no, I think he's hysterical.
This statement is so funny to me because Chaos loves the word fair, like loves fair. You know, we'll have a discussion, and if you know how you say like, oh, I say this, you say that, and then you say, oh yeah, I get you.
This is
Chaos
fair.
always says fair, so I
think just say
that is hilarious.
Chaos, if you're listening, this is fair. That's Chaos's catchphrase.
Yeah, it's fair. Oh wow, see, I would have never known that, you guys. I didn't know that about Aussies either, Mark. I had no idea. I just love listening to like I'm sitting here and I could listen to Jeff talk for hours. Just listen to him. Because I love his accent. Love it. He's probably going, I don't have an accent. You have the accent, woman.
I'll just say until you actually talk to me for a couple of hours, then you'll be like, oh Jesus, will he shut up?
I highly doubt that. I'm a talker myself, so you know.
I have to say that if you understood Stool right away, you're probably in a 3 percentile in this community because almost all of us did not understand. We all thought he was being it. See it. Everybody's like, yeah, I thought he was being a jerk, but he's funny. Oh, Savage. Red, how the hell are you? He is a sweetheart, isn't he? Yeah, I know. But see, that's his thing is he insults people because he doesn't want people to know he's so sweet. That's his defense. So he makes jokes instead of saying, hey, I appreciate and love you. Because he's just not that guy. So it's wonderful to see you, Savage. I'm so glad you're here. You, Chaos, I got it right away. I live within like a half hour of Stool and our sense of humors work together. Yeah, but see, it's a regional thing. That's what I'm saying. People like in the UK versus Australia versus the US, there's different ways to joke around and different cultural stuff. And you have to kind of adapt to that. And if you can't adapt to that, you better stay off of YouTube because it's everywhere.
In a way, that's a regional thing within the UK as well. Like, when myself and like, I'm from a different part of the UK from like Chaos and Stool. You know, it's a bit of a different. You know, it's a bit of a different cultural thing, and like sort of there's a little north and south divide thing going on, like in England. You know, and. You know, so you know.
No, but I appreciate the diversity in our community. I like it because, you know, there's people like Jeff or Polymathic Jen or people like that where they know more about our government than most of us do. And I love to talk to them because not only do they know things that I didn't know because they didn't teach us in school because they didn't want us to hate our own government. That's my theory. Or maybe just didn't want us to know the truth. And the older I get, the more I learn and the more I like the outside point of view of someone who doesn't live here. That's great to me, you know.
I definitely would never say that I know more than about like your government or anything like that. But I think sometimes because there is an outside perspective or so on. And a lot of the times, because sadly, more and more, I let's just put it this way: as a Brit, we used to be able to look down at American politics and sneer at you guys, but in the last few years, we've kind of just seen more and more of it coming into our politics, and I'm thinking, what the fuck? You know?
We think that a lot here.
I mean, Chris, when we got bloody Boris
agree,
as
Randy.
our prime minister, when we got Boris as our prime minister, it was like we can no longer look down on the United States. You know.
So yeah, because Boris and Donald are pretty much one and the same, but I actually think Boris is smarter than Donald.
Oh,
people think he's playing like my ex-brother thinks he's playing some kind of game, and it's all a game with Trump. No, he's just not really intelligent. He got his way paid through school. He was given a bunch of money, $26 million to start out with. Well, $1 million plus he borrowed $25 million from his trust fund. So he started out with like $26 million, and it's all been failures left and right. Like Boris Johnson would have done better than that for himself, at least for himself. Like Trump couldn't even do that. Now everything has to be dissolved. All his companies are gone and everything. And you know what most of it boils down to? A lack of respect.
I've got to admit, listen, I am no expert in business whatsoever. If I was, I probably would be in a much better financial position. But I don't even think I could fuck up owning a casino.
I'm not laughing because, it's absolutely a good point. Very good point.
Purple says in the U.S., the frequency of what the fuck is directly proportional to your distance from the Canadian border. Yes. Yes, that's true. They're going to have to build a wall soon so we don't all escape up into Canada. So I think they need to get on that. I know, right? Right?
I forget the name of the I forget the name of him, but it was some Mexican politician or something who when Donald Trump was doing his campaigning back in 2016 and how they're going to build the wall and make Mexico pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
There was some Mexican politician who said, "Hey, yeah, we'll gladly pay for Trump's border wall, providing we can have it on the pre-1848 borders."
Nice, very nice. Very nice.
We want our land back, asshole.
Yeah, so I say.
Oh, yeah, we'll pay if you did that,
we'll pay for sure it. I might we get New Mexico, Arizona, California back. I
was gonna say if they did that, I'd be living in Mexico because I'm in New Mexico, and half of Texas, most of Texas would be gone too, wouldn't it?
I think so. I think
that's
so,
crazy, isn't it? No, but I agree. If they want to pay for the wall,
was it 1836 Texas declared independence? I can't remember. I'm a little out on American history on that particular thing, but
I think you're in the right ballpark. But I couldn't
Jeff,
say for sure either.
Let me explain, Jeff, my background on this. My mom decided she didn't want to raise us in a city. So when I was 4 years old, she moved us from Virginia Beach, Virginia to the middle of West Virginia. And that's where I was educated. Do you know why I don't know anything now? They literally skimmed over the slaves within one day and acted like it's nothing. It's in the past. It's never going to happen again. This doesn't exist.
Yeah.
There's no racism. There's no slavery. Like I grew up having no idea until a black kid came to our old white school and I saw him getting bullied and I went around defending him all day and he was scared of me too. And I was helping him and he was there for 2 weeks and his family fucking pulled him out of school and left as soon as they sold that fucking house.
Well,
and then I realized where I was living.
I'll say this then. Welcome to most British kids of my generation's education on the British Empire. Look, because I was definitely brought up with the whole the benevolent civilizing empire myth, and only a little bit later did I read a bit about like them, strapping sepoys to cannons and blowing them up, kind of that kind of a thing.
Yeah.
Exactly, HS. Well, I got into my 20s. I moved from Westford. My mom passed away. I went out and did my Army basic training in AIT. And then my sister said, you need to move down here. You're not going to be up there by yourself, because she knew I was obviously having mental health issues due to my mother's death. And I went to Orlando, Florida, from podunk middle of the backwoods of West Virginia. And oh my God, like, you want to talk about a culture diversity, met gay people, met drag queens. What the fuck? I didn't even know all this existed in the world. I had no idea. I didn't know shit, because they don't teach you. They teach you God, and they teach you the basics of biology so you can pass. They don't really believe in that shit. They don't care about it. They literally push kids through the fucking school system and don't teach them shit. Like, the curriculum is crap.
Well,
The best curriculum we had the whole entire time I was in those schools was English class. She actually taught us stuff. Wasn't there to teach us history and about slavery and what really happened and what's really still going on today. We didn't know that shit. None of us did. And this is why I blame education and media and stuff for not teaching these people. That's why they're out in the middle of the country somewhere, and they're ignorant, and they're following Trump right now, because they are totally uneducated, and they have no idea how uneducated they are. And I know that because I was them. I was fucking clueless. Al, welcome. Oh, Sumami. Hello. The benevolent empire that 99% of y'all didn't benefit from because y'all aren't peerage or descended from. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Exactly,
my family came over into this country in the late 1800s. We had no money. We were all poor immigrants. And matter of fact, I think part of my family was escaping Denmark for some reason, because they came over here and changed their names. That's why, like, all of their names. My last name wasn't even Madsen originally; it was Marsden.
But hence I'm God the Scummer and not Lord Jeffrey. So.
Oh my God. See, Holy, that's what I'm saying. And then they wonder why people are uneducated. Well, you did it to them. That's why they're uneducated.
Oh, yeah. And, even if you have, like, because my daughter is a teacher, and I have never been as just taken aback by what's going on right now in the Clark County School District, because she's been a teacher for 6 years now. She's her union rep, and they are now the shit that they are pulling to textbooks. Somebody was saying in the chat that the word slave isn't even in the history textbooks. It's not. They don't talk about it. They cover it over. They're being told you can't teach certain things. Like, my daughter got in trouble for actually telling the truth about Christopher Columbus and what he did, instead of teaching what she was supposed to be teaching when she first started. They are taking away, not only do they not pay teachers anywhere near enough, but teachers have to do their own continuing education. They have to have to get multiple degrees in order to stay relevant in their fields. But now they're talking about taking away any money that they give them to provide any type of necessary things for their classroom. My daughter teaches at a Title I school. Those kids cannot afford the papers, the pens. The families are struggling. Most of our students are English as a second language. And now they're telling her, we're not giving you your personal fund this year. You have to pay for everything out of your own pocket. Oh, and by the way, we're not going to give you a raise, but we're going to give the administration a $20,000 a year raise. But you teachers are still going to qualify for welfare when you're in your third year of teaching in Nevada. I mean, that is disgusting. How can you expect people to have pride in what they're doing and teach and educate our children if they don't treat them and give them the backing that they need? It's absolutely disgusting.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I wouldn't call myself a great expert on American history, but I found um, what one thing I have found, because one area on American history I'm fairly clued up on is the US Civil War. And it's really, I find quite disturbing how much of the bloody lost cause version of history is still prevalent in America. It's really quite scary to me.
I have to comment real quick on this. Spackle, was not saying conservatives. I was literally talking about people that are living out in little tiny towns and are disconnected from most of the world. Now you have the younger kids coming up and they're becoming more progressive and they're starting to bulk against their parents. And I'm very happy about that. But the bottom line is a lot of these people, their parents and them, they grew up in an area where there wasn't internet and you couldn't just get online and see what was going on in New York City, and now they don't want to know because this is what they're used to. And their kids are finally going, wait, hold on. What's wrong with that? Why is it bad for someone to be gay? Or why is it bad for somebody to be Jewish? Or why is it bad for somebody to be black? Or whatever is prominent in their area, and might be several of those. Now, I do not mean conservatives in general. I know a lot of conservatives. I don't agree with some things they think. For instance, half my family are conservatives and are Republicans. A lot of my family actually are Republicans. But they educate themselves still. Now we have a difference of opinions, but they don't think that gay people and black people should be killed. So that's good. You know what I'm saying? So there's a difference between a conservative in a more diverse area and a conservative that lives way out in the middle of nowhere and has no contact with anything but other conservative white people. It stunts the growth of their diversity.
I would say as well, there's a big difference between a lot of what I'd call traditional old school conservatives and the kind of guys you got in the Republican Party today, or even the British Conservative Party today, are so different from like traditional conservatives.
They're definitely different. They're definitely different.
Yeah, I mean, there's some like what I would call traditional conservatives. I might not agree with them, but I could have an intelligent conversation with them. I don't know what the hell has happened, But again, and I'm very much on the left, and politically, there's some people on my own side that I bloody roll my eyes with as well,
Yeah.
No, Native, I agree with you on that. I think that's what my daughter got in trouble for, is because she was telling the truth about what happened with Columbus. And they're like, she's like, well, he didn't discover this. He didn't do this. The entire race of people, tried to anyway. So yeah, that's what she ended up getting in trouble for at school, was trying to say the truth and not teach exactly what the history books were telling her or their history plans were saying they had to do. So, but again, that's why I would love to have my daughter teach, if I had children again, it would be my daughter I'd want teaching, because she's very truthful and very, she free thinker. She can come talk to anybody.
Example, Christian in Africa equals colonialism. I've heard that a zillion times, but Christians existed in Africa before Europe.
Yes,
that's true.
Very true, Spackle. Very true. I mean, I think to this day, I think Ethiopia has had its own very like independent Christian tradition, outside from the traditional European churches. I'm just using Ethiopia as an example, but
yeah.
But all of it goes right back to what I started the show with. It's respect. It's respect of someone else's diversity, respect of what someone else has gone through, respect of the culture they come from. It's all respect. And that's why when people say Indians, I said, oh, you mean people in India? Because people here are Native Americans.
Yeah.
Because they didn't find India, and everybody needs to get over that shit. Now, I do know a handful of Native Americans that are okay with India, and they don't care. And there's a lot of them here. It doesn't bother them. And I think they're just more integrated into maybe like a different culture society. And they're just like, fuck it, I don't care. I know who I am. But I also know a lot of people that it hurts them because they're not Indian. They're not from India. So, yeah, but it's a matter of respect. And this nation was founded on a lot of lack of that. And it was built on the backs of a lot of lack of that. Yes, tsunami, I agree. They are used to it. Yes. Oh, Jenny, you can come up. I just started out with me and Deb. You had no reason to be sorry. Let me send you a link real quick. Hold on. I would love to have you in on this discussion. Because we're talking about respect and diversity and how we should be treating each other and how our community should be lifting each other up and not knocking each other down. So, yes, I would love to have you in here.
I have to comment on something that Holy said. You know what? I agree with you. Holy, history has to be taught. Good, bad, ugly. It all has to be taught because when we fail to recognize the mistakes in our past or we ignore them, we are doomed to repeat them. And there are things that never need to be ever repeated ever again. And canceling them out and pretending they didn't happen is not going to do anybody anywhere any good whatsoever. So I agree with you 100%. It has to be taught. It has to be talked about. You don't just brush it under the rug and pretend it didn't happen.
No, because it's not cool. And anybody you do that to, it's not fair to that person or their culture or the shit they've been through. Just like when bigoted white people tell black people to shut up and quit bitching. The fuck do you want them to do? Just sit there and live with it? Fuck you. I encourage them to stand up and bitch. I'll help them bitch. I'll open a platform so they can bitch. They have a right to, just like natives do. You want to talk about people stomped on in this country? Ain't fucking white Christians. Everybody can stop with that shit. There you are, Denny. I found you. If you ever send Jenny a link, you guys, just send her the letters and numbers at the end because she has a StreamYard app and it helps her have a better connection. So, okay, there you go, Jenny. It's yours. Anyways, so yeah, I mean, that's what most of our problems boil down to. It's a lack of listening to each other. It's a lack of respect. It's wanting to feel better about yourself and knocking other people down, and which is something I've never understood. Like, I don't understand how that makes you better. It doesn't. What it does is it gives you guilt and it gives you crap. And then you have to think about what you've done your whole life to make yourself better. And then people wonder why those people are angry. I'd be angry too if I was an asshole and had to live with myself. Fuck, that would suck. Hey, Beck number 2. It's good to see you, buddy. I hope you're doing better. Yeah, truth and fact is the only thing we should teach. People can form their own opinions as they get older. That's part of growing up. My mom never told us her opinion on things. If she didn't have an aunt, she either told us the fact that was like out of a textbook, like college textbook kind of thing, or she would say, we're going to the college on Saturday. I got to pick up some stuff because when she was in school, she like co-taught with her professors because she was so fucking amazingly intelligent and knew so much shit when she walked in the damn door. And she would say, while we're there, why don't you go into the library and go reference it? Figure out what's going on with it. Come back to me. We'll discuss it because I'm not sure either. That's what she would tell us. She never said, oh, I know. No. She would say, I don't have a clear answer on that I know to be a fact. So I would prefer you reference it, come back, and we'll discuss it. That's what she always.
Sorry, I had to
Hello,
jump
Miss
off
Jenny.
Sorry, I had to jump off for a couple of minutes there, Beck. I was having a coughing fit. So.
Okay. Well, you're always welcome. My friend. Come back when you want.
I am under the weather, so I might have to mute every so often if I have a coughing fit.
Yeah.
Hi.
Yeah.
Sorry,
no, that's
I'm late.
okay. You go feel better. No, it's okay, Jenny. How are you today?
I'm all right. How are you guys?
Good, good.
Good to see you, Deb.
Freezing. I'm cold, as
We
you
are
can tell.
good.
I'm
So-
cuddled on my blankie here.
Yeah, it only hit. I think it only got to about 35 or 40 here today.
Yeah, we're at about 42. That's about it.
Oh, too funny.
Mm.
Welcome, my brother John. How are you? Good to see you. Good to see Beck. And it's funny because he's like, I'm Beck. And I'm like, no, I'm Beck. And I'm like, but I've been in this community longer, so I'm Beck number 1. You have to be Beck number 2. And he said, okay.
This is like
Also,
the
guess who lives in it? Guess who lives in a
It's
tiny
not-
home?
Both of you?
The other Beck. He lives in a
Oh,
tiny
really?
home too.
I think one of you should get a partner whose
Canada.
name is on call.
This is a bit like the I'm Spartacus thing here going on.
Yes. Becca call. Yeah.
That's funny.
You're funny. Yeah, somebody
Oh.
was debating that and said Beck and call. And I'm like, no, it's Beckon call. It's not
No, it's
Beck,
Beck
and
and.
call. Because Beck is an ever-flowing, ever-changing body of water. That doesn't make sense in the statement. So,
Oh, that's cold.
Yeah.
Wait,
Yeah,
oh
anyways,
God.
Jenny, so what we started out discussing was respect in our online community and people we affect by how we act, and the fact that we should be lifting each other up and not knocking each other down in this community, and not causing more divisiveness, but trying to get us to be more of a whole and have each other's backs and stuff. So that's what we started out talking about. We segued
You know,
into
what-
politics a
what-
little bit because that happens.
What fun is that?
Ah,
I
It's just
completely
like
agree
Jenny
with your
here.
premise.
Jenny doesn't really like me, but she comes
not
on
at
my
all.
shows anyways because it's respect. No, I'm kidding. I love Jenny. She's great. Yeah, there's only 2 true Becks. That's right, buddy. That is right. Yeah, so we were just having a discussion and it went into politics, but it still applied because it's people don't respect each other, and that's the biggest problem we have. We have honesty, communication, and respect. Those are 3 of the 4 foundations of any good relationship. The last one's love. And if you don't have those things, you don't have a relationship. So when we're
Not a good
treating
and
other
healthy one,
countries
anyway.
bad, or other people bad, or somebody because of the color of their skin, or what they identify as, or the diversity, the cultural diversity that they came from that we don't understand, we're destroying that because we don't have those 4 things. Every single relationship, whether it's a friendship, a marriage, you have to have those 4 things. Without it, your house will fall.
Well, and it's not just in a relationship, though. Yeah, it's in any relationship, not just
Really?
with, family or things like that. It's
I hate it
everything.
when I'm wrong.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it is. It's
no, I agree, Jenny. It
I mean,
is. It absolutely is.
And one of my big points was people like any of us that come on panels and we have discussions, and the things we do influence other people. There's people out there that look up to us and they respect us. And when we do stupid, horrible shit, they're going to think it's okay to do it. Unfortunately, I hope most of them would say, damn, you're a dickhead. But that doesn't
God
always
damn it.
happen. We influence
I
people
actually-
because we are up here speaking about this stuff. And we
God,
need to remember that.
I almost hate to think with myself. I mean, I hate to think of myself as an influencer in any way, even though. But I think I've got to be a little bit aware that if we're on this platform and so on and saying things that people, there are going to be some people that listen to what we say, even if even if we're small on the platform as in general. I think we probably, have to be aware of it.
Yeah.
We sit on these
Right,
YouTube
but I thought
panels.
it was But I thought hold on, Minnow. I thought I thought it was changed originally to beckon and call. And then they took the and out, and I thought it just turned into beckon call. And if I'm incorrect, please tell me, because I didn't know that that's what. Another thing I was taught improperly growing up. I don't know.
I'm not familiar with the origin of that phrase, so
It's not English. You guys aren't even allowed to use it.
Leading by example is a great responsibility. It is a responsibility. That's what I'm saying. We do have a responsibility up here.
And
people come on and listen to us because they're having conversations with us and they care what we think. And then they listen to what we think, and we can make things worse by saying shit that's horrible. It's a fact.
And I just saw what Perp said.
No.
Yes,
See, I don't care about.
Maybe I get that.
Oh.
I get that.
I'm sorry, Jeff. I ran over you. Can you say that again, please?
Oh, sorry. I just saw what Perp's put in the chat, and maybe I get that about the whole community organizer thing that Perps has kind of been labeled with. But Perps, I will say this: you do a good job. You do a good job on that.
Jeff, do you have the ability to send that link to me?
Sorry.
Can you easily send that link to me for me, or should I do it? Oh, sorry. Hold on, never mind.
Me. Oh no. You best do that. If that's what you've read in the private chat, that's yes.
Hey, Beck, I gotta jump out. I'm being beckoned into the house. So I wanted to say it was a wonderful discussion. And I am so glad I got to see you guys. And hopefully I'll be seeing more of you again real soon. Talk to you guys later. Much love. Bye.
Nice talking to you.
Bye, Deb.
Bye, Deb.
Love you, sweetheart.
Bye. Love you too.
We've sitting here.
Jasper.
Hello, testing 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, go ahead. I can hear
testing.
You.
Yeah, I can be heard. Fine, well, I don't know. I keep getting talked over, so it might be a big delay here. Whatever. Here we sit on these YouTube panels and we talk. And we think that there's controversial people or nasty people in the chat and stuff like that. And of course that does happen once in a while. But you have seen nothing until you get on TikTok and check out some of those live panels and look how unbelievably vicious the people in the chat get. It's some of the worst stuff you've ever heard. Much of it is very adolescent and playground like, but
yes,
there's some people who really mean what they're saying and are just ready to slit your throat.
Yeah, and that's pretty much what's happened to me.
Toxic.
So yeah.
TikTok is pretty toxic, actually. So
I agree, Jeff.
But I think I think a lot of platforms have that toxic element because where you've got that ability of people to hide behind you got people to hide behind avatars or whatever, or accounts that will get to say shit that they wouldn't say and they would not dare say to you in real life. I'm like, that's kind of the way I look at certain trolls or whatever. It's just like, I just kind of like don't respond to it because I'm like, yeah, if we met face to face, you wouldn't have the balls to say it to me. So I'm not bothered.
And that's the kind of thing that bugs me too, because I said I don't want to do this through DMs and text messages that can be misunderstood. And I was told to fuck off. I didn't even get to have a discussion. It was all prejudged for me, which was just lovely. And that's what I'm saying. That is a certain amount of respect. Now, do I expect everybody to show everybody respect the way they respect their favorite person in the world? Fuck no. That's not what I mean by respect. I mean, letting people be who they want to be, letting BIPOC people stand up and speak for themselves, and listening to what they say. And if you don't want to listen, just shut your mouth and walk away. Let them talk about it. That right there is respect. So that's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about kissing anybody's ass or anything. I've done that even with people I don't even really care for in the community. I've been overly nice to them to make sure that I wasn't going to be an asshole to them. Literally.
Yeah.
That's why I've done it. Because I don't want to be that dickhead. Carry on, Jeff.
No. I was agreeing with you. You carry on.
Agreed. And I was not angry, and I started defending myself. And then I thought, wait a minute, why am I defending myself? Okay, yeah, I got crabby in a chat. Fuck yeah, I did. And I admitted when I came on the stream twice that I fucked up. I shouldn't have attacked the asshole mod. I should have just walked away. But I was in a certain kind of mood because I just got my ass chewed about something else. And then that same person just decided to try to make my life hell and cancel me everywhere on YouTube. So what they don't know is I don't really give a fuck what the big channels think of me. Don't care. I just don't care. I know that a lot of people in the community think they're like gods or whatever. That ain't me. I don't give a fuck what they think of me. I really don't care. I was only in those chats to have discussion with my friends and people I care about a good topic. I don't care about the fucking channels. I don't care about the owner of the channel and what he thinks of me. I don't care. So that wasn't the problem to begin with.
I'm like you in that respect that I certainly do not give a shit what the big names in the community think of me, because I've been more than happy to call them out if I think they're wrong on certain occasions. Just before I came in, you mentioned Matt Dillahunty. Now I've had a few occasions where
thanks, Mark.
I have a lot of respect for Matt, but there's a few occasions where I've been called him out where I thought he's been wrong on things. Although, like, I will say this: in the last couple of days, I've defended him quite a lot because of his decision to leave a debate the other day that he left, and I don't blame him for doing it, because if I was in this position, I would have done the same thing.
Right.
But I've not. I've certainly not been afraid of calling out big name atheists. In fact, I've almost sadly kind of got a bit of a reputation for it now, but that's not how I really wanted to, be when I was on YouTube. When I started doing atheist stuff on YouTube, my whole thing was to call out like bad Christian or bad theist arguments. It just seems to be the way that it's happened that I seem to spend a lot more time calling out bad shit from atheists. But
right.
I mean, there's certain fuckers I couldn't care what they think. Like, I've made God knows how many videos on David Silverman, and I really couldn't give a fuck what that guy thinks of me. But
I mean, it's like I was saying, we all have our own shit in the background that people don't know about. We all have struggles. We all have money problems. We all have all these different things that's going on. And people are so quick to just attack instead of saying, well, that's out of character for you, Beck. Why were you just crabby? Oh, Jeff will come back. But that's what needs to happen. You don't just attack somebody in your community who is like, say someone's serious all the time, and all of a sudden they're acting really goofy. There's probably something wrong. You might want to check in on them and ask them, hey, are you okay? You're acting not characteristically like you. That's what I do. I notice the pleas for help in the chat. I notice when someone says, hey, I'm having a fucking shitty day and fuck this world and all that. What do? I go on to wherever I can DM them, whether it's Discord or Twitter. You're fine, Jeff. and I say, hey, are you okay? What's going on? You know, you need somebody to talk to? I'm here. I'll listen to anybody. I literally will. I don't care. I'll sit here and listen. You can bitch and complain and talk about your life or whatever. We can do it public. We can do it private. I don't care. Everybody needs somebody to talk to once in a while. So I think we need to start giving each other the benefit of the doubt and realizing that, hey, this person's acting weird. That's not really them. I shouldn't attack them right now. I should check on them. Maybe they're having mental health issues. That's all a form of respect.
Do you ever look at this like the individual situation though? Like I look at it and go, well, if somebody's triggered by like certain theists are incredibly triggering, and I don't blame, if you're LGBTQ, blame being triggered by some of the bullshit that they say.
I don't care
or even atheists, like, you know, like, but I'm saying like I've seen people get triggered and upset when like, I'll just use Darth Dawkins as an example. Somebody horrendous like him has something awful to say. And you're just like, and I'm so jaded because I lived through it, but like I some people are upset because they live through it too, and it just triggers all sorts of, you know, feelings and stuff like that. I look at individual situations too and try to factor that in as well if I know about it. And there are some panelists that are fucking triggering, like, and you can have them on, but just know that it's going to cause some people to have some salty feelings about it. In my opinion. So I don't know the situation you're talking about, but people are human, and you have to allow for some humanness. This is silly.
That's all I'm saying. That's exactly all I'm saying. That and the fact that, like I've said 10 times, we should be lifting each other up and making our fucking community more cohesive, not attacking each other because we don't understand what somebody says, or like, just ask, what did you mean by that? That's all you have to do. And 9 times out of 10, they're going to say, oh, I meant this. And you're going to go, oh, okay. I didn't. Oh, yeah, I was thinking, never mind. That happens so much. I've done it. I've done it to people. Thought somebody was being an asshole in the chat because they said something a little different. And it could have been taken 3 ways. And I thought negative that day. And I asked them, and they were like, no, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, oh, don't do shorthand next time. I didn't understand you. I do that myself. I shorthand something and somebody doesn't understand what I'm saying. I put a little bit more clarity in, and then they're like, oh, I agree with you. So that's all I'm asking. Just give each other a fucking break, man.
Well, there's a lot of people who come in.
Community. We have all these brilliant people. We shouldn't be fighting. Go ahead, Jenny.
There's a lot of people who come in purely with the intention of being a dick and causing trouble and stuff like that. What I find interesting though is my role in it. I can't control what these sexual devices made of silicone say, but I can control what I do. What interests me though is how one person will say ABC, and I will just light up like a cannon, and other people will say ABC and you don't, and so you start looking into, well, why am I so pissed at this person and not this person? And you begin to discover that some people are very good at manipulating I don't want to say nonverbal because it's part of the verbal process, but I'm going to use it anyways. The nonverbal cues in their speech of things like tone and even just how much they hesitate between one word or the other word can completely change how you feel about what they're saying. And that's sometimes real hard to keep a handle on within yourself. I have been known to explode at some of the trolls, and I did the other night on a panel I was on, and I had to write a letter of apology to the owner of it. And she responded. She says, "No, don't worry about it. They were an asshole. I support you 1,000%."
I generally, as a general rule, I try to be charitable. There are obviously, I mean, I'm not always, we don't, sometimes it's whether they catch us on the wrong day or whatever, that happens. But as a general rule, I try to be charitable over things. But it's generally when I think my cutoff point is generally when people who should know better say certain stuff, or whatever, that's kind of my cut-off point. People who've been around long enough to know better say certain things. That's generally my cut-off point.
Yes, me too.
And like somebody I decided to mute on Twitter a few months ago, and I was probably one of the last guys left defending this person for a long time, but I won't anymore. But I won't say his name, but it rhymes with Meaves de Cray. I'll just say. But
I knew exactly who you were talking about. You didn't have to say.
But,
and I witnessed that.
Did you say
too.
my knees are? Did you say my knees are gray?
Yeah. Okay, and I'll admit, I'll hold my hands up. I was probably one of the last guys left defending that guy, but should we just say the Pride Month meltdown was the final straw for me, and I felt
was that this year?
Yes, and I felt I felt this person had been around long enough to know better, and has had conversations long enough to know better, that I was like, yeah, I'm kind of done with this guy now. So
that particular guy is
yeah, and
folks right and left all
Spackle, and I know you've got some long history there, and we won't get into that.
I have posted warning signs about this guy, but I'm glad that you see who he is, as he's not good.
Yeah, well, all I'll just say is that person has always been very good to me personally, very, very nice to me. But just say what happened with the Pride Month stuff, the meltdown I saw over social media and on YouTube was just too much for me. And I was like, no, I'm done. I'm done with this guy now.
And it's still going, by the way.
Yeah. One of the defenses I've taken with some of the nastier, more regular, more intense and committed trolls. Anybody can say stupid things, but these people are intentionally behaving that way. Is I will no longer try to defend whatever point I'm making with them, but instead I will go on the attack and start talking to the chat and the audience, whoever's listening, about how disturbed this particular person is and what they're doing, and how what is the behavior that we're watching. Let's analyze it, and how childish is it, and what are the words that are indicating that, and just really go back at them for their for what they're saying, how they're saying it, to make them, well, I know they're not going to realize it, but to help chat people and observers realize that this person is just a big asshole, talking out that asshole, and they don't know any of the legitimate information. They're just causing trouble. They're being immature. They have no rights to stand with what they're saying, and just so it just feels better that like that I'm defending the community that they're speaking up against, whatever community that may be. Because it's not just trans stuff. These people are absolutely insane about everything.
There's also some people that are sincere and they're sincerely confused, and you can talk to them. And there's other people that are insincere and they're jumping on a hate train for their own personal hate, and it's less out of ignorance. People that are saying things out of ignorance, that's one thing, and I think there's patience for that, but it's the saying things out of just hate. Saying things because it's trending, saying things because you're going to garner a set of viewers, right? That stuff.
That's the one that ticks me off the most, is people saying things because it's trending. When like I said, we've talked about lots of different things. For example, the other night we were talking about spanking is abuse, yes or no. But lots of times we're talking about trans, because there's a lot of people in the trans community who are on this panel. And these people will start spouting all these things. And if you take the time to listen, and I don't care if it's on this platform or that platform, you will hear the same words in the same sentences, in the same paragraphs that everybody else uses, which is a clear indicator that this is not an original thought. You have been trained with this as your only piece of information. That you didn't research this, you didn't learn this. You just thought you'd jump on the bandwagon, and how dare you talk out of ignorance, and insist that you're right. You're completely wrong, and everybody needs to see that. And then everybody needs to see where that comes from, so that they don't let their friends and family fall into that same trap.
Right.
For Voldemort, who we were talking about earlier, I clipped a part of a video where he's confronted by one of his best friends. It's Reds. He's confronting him and says, why are you getting into all this LGBTQ stuff? And his response is, well, because that's what's trending on Twitter. That literally was his response.
Okay. I must have missed this clip. I've had the guy muted since June, basically, when the guy started having his meltdown. I've had it.
He's all about the rhetoric now that a bunch of trans kids are being mutilated and all this bullshit.
Yeah. The point, the thing with me was I got to a certain point where people that I consider friends in this community, who and like people who I regularly co-host the show with, who are all fall under the LGBTQ umbrella, saw some of that and felt genuinely hurt. And I watched and I saw some of this stuff, and I had to make this decision of how, even though the guy has always been very cool to me or whatever, I had to make this decision of, can I, in good conscience, call myself an ally to LGBTQ people and still associate with this person? And I got to the decision where I felt I couldn't.
You touched on a
that was the point I got to, and that's the decision I made several months ago.
You touched on a subject that we can move away from the specific individual and just say, like, when you join panels, oftentimes you join panels with people that disagree with you, people that you sometimes are appalled by their belief system, if you're in the debate circuit, for instance. But I think it's like those sort of panels, you know what those are. It's the panels where it's sort of like, you know what I'm saying? There's some panels that are promoting, and there's some panels that are challenging, if that makes sense. And I kind of see the difference.
Yeah. No, there's definitely a difference. Yeah.
I do have to say also, though, that there's nothing more gratifying than taking a person who maybe starting out with just parroting, and takes the time to reflect on themselves and realize what's going on, and then turn into somebody who's asking legitimate questions and absorbing it. You can tell when you tell somebody something and they absorb it or not. And when they do, and they start becoming an ally themselves because of the legitimacy of their questions. And I don't care if a person agrees with whether or not you're trans. I care about whether or not somebody is going to try to have trans people eradicated. You don't have to agree with me, but at least let me survive as a human being.
Yeah, live and let live at the very least, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think. But I appreciate that. It's weird because I'm watching people that are like in certain states just despairing over the laws that are getting passed right now, and it's just so frightening. I don't know. And so for people to be reckless and being like, well, this is trending, I'm going to use this as a debate topic. It's such a sensitive topic. And this is one of many sensitive topics. But this and abortion and some other topics are so sensitive that how you handle it matters. And I just am horrified that people are just doing it for clickbait. I don't think it's right, but that's just me.
Yeah, it really has taken a turn. I mean, I can remember when you were in 3rd, 4th grade and you're picking on friends and stuff like that, and just being an asshole as a kid. But when you're a kid, it's it's kind of standard procedure to be an asshole. And a petri dish, and
it's part of hormonal changes.
Yeah, and it just makes me so crazy that adults will stoop to that level and behave that way. And it's unfathomable to me.
Yeah, it's yeah. But that's I don't know. I'm just not the person to knock everybody else down. And the shit that happened with me recently, pretty much nobody even knows about. There's like 3 or 4 people, and I only told 2 of them. And those are the people that have told me that I'm being talked about behind my back. So, which the person denied doing while they were doing it. Just saying. Anyways, I don't know. I just can't understand treating other people like this. We're all fucking human. We've all been through shit. We've all got our stuff. We've all got our opinions. We all have our characteristics. We all have our culture. We all have whatever we have. And everybody needs to not pick on them because of whoever they are. If you don't like them, there's this really cool thing you can do is quit talking to them. Don't keep talking to them and acting like a friend while you're stabbing them in the back. It's not okay. And 9 times out of 10, that person knows you're doing it. Because like Sumami and John Hudson, I can see bullshit a mile fucking away.
You know what's weird though is like, to me, I really try to salvage relationships as best as I can. I know that sounds terrible, and it is probably my own hangups because I probably have abandonment issues, and I probably stay on the ship a little too long myself, and that's why like when Godless is saying what he said, like I'm not mad at you or anything like that. I understand you give people a chance and a chance and a chance and a chance, and you go well maybe, and you try to be charitable on and on and on. And I did that with that same person actually for 2 years. You try with people, you really do, and I don't think that's necessarily a bad trait. I think it's hard to know when to let go of it and be just like, well, come back when you fix yourself, or when to just like kind of fight the good fight and just be like, yo, and I don't mean fighting, but I mean like hanging out and being like, maybe this person will change.
I still haven't blocked that guy. I've muted him for several months. I still haven't blocked him. I mean, I don't know. It's just I'm maybe too forgiving, and I like to hope certain people would change in time or whatever. But
no,
even though I think common sense is telling me that certain people won't change, and they're kind of set in their ways, and
Look, I tried with him. I tried with Unirock. I've tried with a lot of people that are problematic. And eventually, you just can't anymore. Eventually.
By the way, Spackle, I think it's best we do not get into a conversation about that guy. God, he's a fucking moron.
Well, you missed that. There was a whole slander.
I've not followed what's gone. I have not followed.
That happened around June.
I've not followed anything that's gone on with that guy for about 2 years now, but at least. But
my point is, I understand what betrayal is like, and not having an adult conversation and having someone slander you with a bigger platform. It is definitely hurtful. It sucks. But that's the risk sometimes we take with people too. Is like we engage with people, and there is a risk to every engagement, unfortunately. And I see Beck as very open-handed and like, hey, I'm offering this olive leaf or olive branch. I'm also offering a friendly place, and it's a risk.
I think we've all been burned by people. We're all on this platform, and I don't think there's any of us in this stream right now or that have not been burned by someone on YouTube at least.
It's true.
I mean, I will say one name publicly recently. I got burned by John Hamill. I got burned by him actually, but
Mark has a brother named John.
Yeah, it's a long story, but I'd had him on my channel earlier. Maybe it was either late last year or early this year. I can't remember, but I had a really enjoyable stream with him because I was following a lot of the stuff that was going on with Atheist Alliance International, and I still to this day I will give John a lot of credit that he has done a lot to expose a lot of the corruption that's gone on in that organisation, and has done a good job of doing that. And I'll give him credit to that for this day. But
Right.
he also exposed himself in the last couple of months as being a transphobic bigot, and I was just like, and me and a few other people called him out, and including people he used to work with, called him out on this shit. But for some reason, he really got butthurt when I did, and it kind of became a thing where I blocked him, and then he was acting like a jilted lover for several weeks, like kept tweeting about me, and I got to a certain point of where I put something out saying, I'm putting out a challenge of this is the John Hamill shut the fuck up and stop talking about me for 1 day challenge, day one, which he failed, by the way.
Of course.
So yeah.
There's people, just the bottom line, people need to think before they do things to other people, and think about what they're doing and what they're doing to the community. And going around talking smack about people behind their back is not fixing a damn thing. I understand you don't like someone, you want everyone else to hate them too, but you're usually not going to get your way in this community, especially our chunk of it, because we all know each other here and we all support each other here, as it should be. And we have discussions when we have issues. And I think if you're not cool with that, you should remove yourself from this community.
These people should just hire me, because I can hate somebody at the drop of a hat. Just tell me who.
Well, the other thing is, you don't have to entirely like me to be cordial on a panel, right? Like, you don't, like, there's general cordiality that's offered. I don't expect everybody in this community to like me, like, for sure. Like, I get it. But like, there's general cordiality, and you mentioned respect, and I always think respect is kind of a loaded word. I like to say cordiality, but just, I honor you as a human being, and even if we're arguing in a difference, that's just generally, I'm cordial until you poke me in the eye several times, and then I switch. but generally speaking, I don't think you even have to kumbaya completely with somebody, it just allow people's humanness to exist. I don't know.
Yeah, see, this is a good, for instance, from John Hudson. He said, I didn't know that Brie was going through a transformation, and called her bro on a chat, and so many ate my ass because I had no idea. So what I would have done was just said, hey, John, it's she, her. That's what I would have done. And just let the person say, oh, I didn't know. Because we know damn well in this community, none of us are going to do that to each other intentionally. Come on, guys.
John,
who just in this group right here would do that? No, none of us would. And we need to take that into consideration. Maybe just someone's not informed of something going on, because they're not in the private chat on Twitter, or they didn't see your show at 3 p.m. because they were at work. Like, things happen. We need to show each other some give them a little bit of rope. And if they hang themselves after that, that's okay.
The one thing, I will hold my hands up. I still sometimes fuck up on pronouns with people, and it's not intentional. It's really genuinely not intentional. And I realize, I realize that's a me issue that I need to get my head around, and I'm trying to work on that. And I work, and I regularly stream with a couple of people who identify as NB, and it's only I feel like it's only recently in the last few months that I've actually got properly into the habit of saying like that, they, them, when referring to them, to both of them.
It's a hard transition. You have to do it in your head. You get in a habit. Okay, for instance, I rented a spot off of these people. They're a younger couple. The father/husband came out as non-binary. They, them. So hard for me, and I'm fucking trans. How do we expect people, especially older people, who were taught to say sir and ma'am to everybody?
Well,
like me, I was taught that you always show everybody respect, even if they're close to your age. And if they're working a job and you're not, show that person respect. They're working a job, whatever it is.
Yeah,
I don't know how to not do the sir, ma'am thing. So it's hard for me, but I am working so hard to go to the they, them.
I've had to get into the habit of calling you. I've had to get into the habit of calling you Beck because the name I originally knew you by.
Yeah.
So
it's just habits.
What? Go ahead, Jeff. I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, sorry. It's just sometimes. But I view that as like if I went back like like 2 or 3, maybe 3 years ago, I'd never even heard of the concept like non-binary. And I really did not understand the whole.
I didn't either until I came in this community.
I had no fucking clue about that.
I never met anybody that was non-binary.
But
before that, I'm right with you, Jeff. I didn't.
Yeah, and I'm very regularly on a stream with a couple of people who do identify that way, and yes, it's a very much and when this is what I mean when I hear people say they can't get into that habit or whatever. Well, I'm like, well, okay, yeah, it's a bit foreign to me, but that's something I need to work on. It's not something. At the end of the day, that's something I need to work on. Society doesn't need to work around me and what I'm comfortable with. I need to work around society.
Before we get too far down this path,
again, Spackle going, not mentioning this, but going back to our favourite person in the world, on that point. But
before we get too far down this path, I wanted to backtrack about a little group of chats people put up here. John and Tsunami are talking about stuff that makes me think about how quickly we are, whether it's in personal face-to-face or family or on a chat or a scam show like this, how quick we are to bite back if we interpret something somebody said the wrong way, or that we don't try to find a way to suggest to that person or to ask that person if they meant what they said. Do they understand what they said, and that sort of thing. But instead of that, we just jump down their throat and start attacking them right back. And I know it's something
that's exactly what I said before you got here, Jenny.
Yeah,
I said the same. That's exactly what I started out this. That's exactly what I started out this conversation with.
Okay. Well, then my job is done. I'm going home. No. I'm glad you brought it up again because that's where I wanted to get back. Please do not, you smart ass. Don't leave. So, that's the thing is like, okay, Jenny, for instance, you and I have been in a chat together and one of us in a bad way. And you're like cranky. Do I pick on you and attack you because of that? Or do I go, are you okay? Wait a minute. I'm never
That's
cranky.
The difference.
What?
Once or twice in your life, but it was just an example. But that's the difference is, we don't jump down each other's throats. We know something's wrong if we're acting out of character. We don't, or if something was said and it sounds horrible, which we don't walk around saying horrible things to people. We would ask, hey, what's going on, man? That's not you. Are you okay? But no, people are attacking each other, and it's just not okay with me. We need to have discussions. That's the respect I was talking about. Give that person the benefit of the doubt and say, hey, this is not who Jeff or HS or Jenny or whoever normally acts. Like if Sumami started acting really, really sweet to like the toxic masculinity, white fucking cis guys, I would ask her what's wrong with her mental health because I know she hates them. You see what I'm saying? I wouldn't go, oh wow, she's being mean. No, I'd be, or she's acting nice or whatever. I would ask her what's wrong with her. It's out of character for her, or am I just interpreting it wrong?
Jasper
but
says
people don't want to admit that they
way.
can be wrong about something.
I like Jasper's position there in the tone making the music. That's a very good way to put it.
So yes, the tone does set the music, absolutely. And if someone's trying to explain to you what happened and tries to find a better way to communicate with you than trying to text, and you tell them to fuck off, that is the opposite of communication and respect. It is literally the opposite.
My biggest flaw.
And you can't ask them later to apologize because that's fucked up.
My biggest flaw in this respect is when I'll see somebody in the typed chat write something that just triggers me or pisses me off, and I don't take the time to check out their bio before I say anything, because sometimes people speak in sarcasm, and you don't know it because you don't know the person, and then you end up calling them out, and then a word or two later you realize, oh, that was sarcasm. I'm really sorry. I called you a piece of crap.
Cool. I've done it too, and I'm not saying I haven't done it. I'm human. I fucking make mistakes. We all make mistakes. But we shouldn't be consistently doing the same thing over and over again and banging our head on a tree and expecting a different result. It's the definition of insanity. It doesn't work like that. It didn't work before. Why are you still doing it? Did you not learn anything? But so basically what those people tell me by doing that is that they think they are right all the time and that they're a narcissist. Fuck you. I don't have time for you.
I thought I was the definition of insanity. You took that away from me.
I'm sure there's more than one.
Well, I think, I think because we have those kind of reactions sometimes when we see things, this is why I think, like, should we say, certain troll accounts on Twitter have their value. And I'm thinking of that Pastor Alex account, when I say this, where they had that value of putting something out that seems ridiculous on the surface, and so many people will respond to it as if that person's being serious. I'm sure all of you are familiar with that Pastor Alex account.
Well, I was just going to ask you, because you brought that up. I am not sure if that's I don't know if that's a real person or a real attitude, or
absolute parody. This is absolute parody.
Okay.
It absolutely is, Jenny.
Well, if you can't tell, that means they're very good at
which means it's very good. But it's one of those things that you could see a tweet from them, and on the surface you'd be like, "What the fuck are they saying? What the earth are they?" And then you sort of see a few of the other tweets that have been put out, and you kind of realize, oh, this is like fantastic trolling. This is really quite funny stuff. When you get beneath the surface, and the fact that whoever's behind that account has actually managed to troll people along the lines of Gary Lineker and Eric Idle, like both real major celebrities,
oh wow.
Like Eric Idle has fallen for Pastor Alex, and former England football player Gary Lineker as well. They've both fallen for like some of Pastor Alex's tweets. It's really that's like what I call really good trolling, because you just when you get beneath the surface and realize that this is comedy, a parody thing, but so many people react to it as if this is genuine. I think it maybe says a lot more about how the way we react to things, I think.
Yeah, Savage. Eric Idle says some really, really mean, nasty, horrible things. It broke my heart too.
Oh, I haven't kept up with stuff Eric Idle said, but
I blocked him long ago, but it reached a peak with me that this man is just hateful.
Yeah, well, I've always, like I said, I've always, I've kind of had my heart broken by Graham Linehan a number of years ago, so.
Well, no, I'm not going to say that. That's
well,
no.
You know, but look, I grew up in the UK. Listen, the comedy show Father Ted is like one of my favorite comedy shows ever written, which was a Graham Linehan and the guy he wrote it with. But goddamn, Linehan has just like made hate on trans people his life's work now, and it's quite sad to see.
I'm convinced that he's that way because he has a secret crush. I'm dead serious when I say that. I think he has a secret crush.
Possibly. I don't know. I wouldn't want to. I'm not qualified to psychoanalyze anybody. So.
Oh, I'm not psychoanalyzing. It's just flat out ignorant layperson's opinion, but I still believe in it.
Oh, hold on real quick, everybody. I have to say hi to Pixie. Pixie never comes by. I'm so happy to see you, sweetheart. I hope you're doing well.
Hey.
I'm in love with Tsunami. It's permanent now.
See, look, Savage. Thank you. That was a perfect example of sarcasm. Yes. Put the little /s behind it, and everybody knows you're joking around. The one that looks like a melted candle. Fucking amazing.
We're on the island of stupid people. I don't know.
I live on Turf Island,
so you know. Goodness.
I live on Turf Island, so you know.
That is what we call the UK sometimes.
Yeah.
Why do they call it Turtle Island?
Turtle or fertile?
Turtle. I've not heard that one.
Sorry, I'm in the Southwest, and there's like cocoa paleys everywhere here, and that's like the fertility. Yeah. Anyways, go ahead, you guys. So I thought you said fertility.
No, Tsunami. Where's Stupid Island? I can imagine several places that qualify for that.
I'd say
I have a dream home too. It's
Isle of Wight is about 20 miles south where I live. Yeah.
You guys are just too funny. Anyways,
I wonder if it would be hard to be a feminist on Man Island or Isle of Man. I mean, never mind.
I think you would be shoved off of
all joking aside, Jenny,
pier
probably
or something.
Would. All joking aside, it probably would be, Jenny, that they only abolished birching people in public there recently. So
they're so advanced.
Yeah, they're Isle of Man's pretty, I believe, still pretty strictly quite religious community. I think that most of the business is shut on Sunday, that kind of thing. But it wasn't all that long ago that they stopped publicly flogging people with the birch.
Oh, well, that's nice. At least it's birch leaf stars.
Boy, that took me onto a whole different topic. I was binge watching up until I started working. I was binge watching The Walking Dead, and they use part of that in there. They use birch to like punish themselves to keep themselves in line. Wow. Anyways,
like
Tsunami, that one makes me crazy. Everybody, everything on the planet is biological. You know,
doing it to each other, like consensually being flogged, but it's just like, on their arm with a birch branch, and they'd have somebody else do it to them.
It's like if I said, "Brother Beck, you need to keep me accountable. Please beat me." Like, is that really what's going on?
Yes, that's what it is. Got to keep me in line. I can't fuck up. Yeah, that's a crazy show. I quit watching it.
It's fun to say Brother Beck,
like season 2 or 3, and then I went back and decided, I want to watch the whole thing again because I had time and I was waiting on job stuff and background checks and all this shit. So I started binging it, and I was like, wow. Sinister Porpoise, congratulations! And I just passed my 2-year anniversary on September 7th was my transiversary.
Has that really been 2 years?
Yeah, can you believe
that means
it?
I've known you for
it's
about
really
2
been
years.
2 years.
Wow.
No, you've known me longer than that, though.
That's
I knew
tricky.
you. We've known each other almost 3 years now, Spackle.
Gosh, time flies.
I know. I've been in this. Look, this is gonna freak you out. I've been in this community for more than 4 years now. 4 years and a couple months.
Wow.
See what I'm saying? I know, right?
I remember thinking you were the new person.
Yeah. Yep. I was the new guy with the tiny home and had nothing else going on, and now I am privileged to have these amazing conversations with the amazing community I'm part of. So, yeah, I'm pretty fucking lucky. So,
you've been here for 9 inches.
Oh, good. That explains more, Porpoise, because I didn't understand because I thought you had been. Oh, you were doing like a gel or patch or probably a patch before and switched to injection. Yeah. Injection is when you first start is faster acting and you get results a little bit quicker. So it's good for people that maybe they don't know how far they want to transition to start with patches and gel so they can do it slowly and say, whoa, I don't want to do more. Because, there's certain things when you take hormones, like when you take testosterone and your voice lowers and your facial hair comes, there ain't no going back, baby. Your voice, you can take estrogen again, your voice is not going to get high again. You're stuck with that male voice if you don't like it.
It doesn't get high the first time.
Well, my point is you can't correct it once you've had testosterone for so long. Once your voice drops, it's dropped. And if you decide you don't like it, so for people that don't want to rush into it, want to ease in and see how they feel along the way, patches and gel are definitely the best.
Well, also, I think the idea is also because hormones are so fucking powerful on your mood. Like honestly, like I had to go back on birth control because I have endometriosis, right? So like it's one of the ways that if you don't want to do a full hysterectomy, that's the other way you can approach it. And estrogen for me is like the death nail for depression. Like I already struggle with it, but when you load in estrogen for the first 3 months on birth control, oh my God, the world is ending. And that like hormones are just hormones are powerful and they'll affect you hard. Like I met people that are, using testosterone for the first time and they're like, I have all this rage and anger. Where the fuck did this come from? And it's just like, well,
I had a little bit. I actually did have a little. Yeah, I did have a little bit of that when I got to the puberty period of my transition. I did get a little bit of that, but what really made it bad was the shit that happened at my old job when I was working with my ex, with the other doctors and them physically attacking me, and it set off my PTSD. And it set it off like right at the end of my I'm crabby because of testosterone period. It was an overlap and it was ugly. and I lost my job because
Hi, Maya.
I had anxiety at work. Oh, there's that amazing woman I was just telling you guys about. So when we get done here, there'll be plenty of time. You guys go get dinner and get a drink and smoke pot or whatever your flavor is, because Maya is doing Bad Science Sunday, and it'll be at 9:30 Eastern. The link is pinned at the top of the chat for her. So you guys can go over there afterwards.
I did something today that I've never ever done before.
I'll see you, Beck. I'll be jumping off in the next 5 or 10 minutes. So just so you know. So.
Okay, that's fine, Jeff. You can just jump out. I'm not insulted, buddy.
It's getting up to about 10:30 at night here, so I probably am going to need to get some sleep in a little bit, but I'll stick on for a few more minutes.
Isn't 10:30 5 o'clock?
Maybe in your time, yeah. Well, and bear in mind, I don't know. Bear in mind, I don't know when the whole daylight savings things happens in the US, but like it happened today here. Like our clocks went back an hour, so it was like it's all a bit.
We're up for that a week or two, I think.
So it feels like 11:30 at night, even though it's only 10:30 right now.
So that would be 6. That would be 5:30.
Something like that, yeah.
Okay, metric time.
So in 30 minutes, you guys, around the time I'm going to end anyways, Commander 401's going to do a scary movie night for everybody. It's an open panel. You can watch from the chat. You can go in and hang out with them and whoever else is going to be there. And that will be a good time filler for you if you have nothing to do for those 2 hours between the end of this and the beginning of Maya's. Go hang out with Commander and watch a scary movie. It's Halloween. Go enjoy it.
What movie?
They said they found one that's copyright free or whatever, so they can play it online for everybody. So, which is cool.
But it doesn't have a title.
The movie that I'm going to do is an hour and 45 minutes. It'll be done before. See, that's perfect timing. Everybody gets a little pee and a pea pot and pale ale. I had to think of something with a pea. Pea pot and pale ale break. It's the PPP break. There you go. Yeah. You know, my sister died of cancer in 2008. She had intestinal cancer. They took out, it was liver, intestine, a little bit of her stomach. Yeah, it ate her up. They found her and she was in stage 4. But here's the point, or well, actually 3, about to turn into 4 when they caught it. So she actually lived 7.5 years. We were all very excited about that. The doctor said, if you get 8, you're going to be a very, very lucky woman. And she got 7.5. So she was there to make sure her boys were old enough that they could function. They were 17 and 15 when she died. And that's what she wanted. She wanted to make. Yeah, but hold on, Jeff. The point is she was misdiagnosed with IBS for 4 fucking years.
Jeez.
And no one caught it.
Right.
You know, if I was a doctor and I had women patients who were complaining about any kind of abdominal pain, after all these examples that you hear about, I can't imagine any doctor not assuming to start with that it's some sort of PMS or ovarian or PCOS or so many possible issues with I hate this word, but female issues. It's like, how can you automatically just go to IBS, you people? Don't you see how many times you're wrong?
Well, the other thing
she had chronic diarrhea, so I could understand why they would say that, but they gave her medicine for it and it got worse, and no one did a scan on her for almost 4 years. And then when they did it, they were like, hey, guess what? You have carcinoid cancer and it's and we can't save you. We can't stop it. And they removed like 6 feet of her intestine under a couple different surgeries, trying to just keep her alive longer. Because it was already metastasizing to her bones and it was going into her blood. Like, we knew she was fucked.
Yeah,
she was almost stage 4. When you get almost stage 4, she was stage 4 like 6-8 months. I don't know. That's not right. About a year and a half after her 3 diagnosis, they were like, now you're at stage 4.
That's terrible.
Right.
Poor sister.
So she just chemo and radiation, and all her hair fell out. And she always had this long, beautiful hair, and her whole body was blown up like the Michelin Man. And she was always beautiful and perfect figured. And she was dealing with all of that at once. So this is what I did. The last time I saw her before her surgery, we had a family reunion. And that was in May. I was a truck driver. And so I was gone on the road all the time. And every time I got a chance, I would stop by, spend the weekend at her house or whatever. Right. So I'd seen her in beginning of June, I believe it was, or last week of May. And she went in for surgery after that. And she passed away because they didn't get the stent in fast enough to drain the liquid away from her lungs and heart. So she suffocated literally on her own liquids. But before that happened, we all went to a family reunion, and it was like my sister had gone back to college, and my other sister and her son had just graduated. They graduated college at the same time. So we had this huge party. The whole family came to congratulate. We made a big family reunion. And before I got there, I buzzed my hair off, and I only left this much on the top and took everything else down to skin. And so she walks outside to see me because we were very, very close, and it didn't matter how sick she was. She would come and greet me as soon as she saw me. We were like twins. So she came outside and hugged me, and she goes, "What did you do?" And she pulls off my hat and she goes, "Oh, where's your hair?" And by this time her hair had grown back. It was about this long everywhere, right? It was just starting, like her color was coming back. It was actually growing back in. We were really excited for her. And I said, "You can't have the shortest hair in this family. I'm the lesbian." And she laughed so hard, and she just collapsed against me, and then she just started crying. So after she died on that September 1st, for the next several years, I only stopped doing it because I was not considered a man, and people looked at me funny and thought I had cancer. So I stopped doing it for a while. But on September 1st, every year for a few years, I buzzed my head in remembrance of her, just because it was like a little joke between us, you know.
That's beautiful, Beck. One of my good friends online suffering from cancer, and it's like two of them are, and God, I fucking hate cancer. I fucking hate cancer, like really bad.
Beck, I was only trying buttons literally. Well, we're just getting to the end of October now. It's literally almost 3 years to the day that I lost my sister from cancer. She died in 2020, so end of 2020, but from cancer. And
yeah, I remember.
Yeah, and well, you know, because you were on a few critical streams with me at the time, and you heard about that. But and you know, so it's still quite. I know it's still a difficult pill for me to swallow, but. I don't even know if it's a rant about this or not, but I won't mention her by name, okay? But there was a certain person who was in or around our community at that time who I felt I was quite close to and had confided in her to this person about my sister's illness, and literally a few days after my sister died, this person started a GoFundMe saying that she was suffering from cancer, and turned out that she was lying. So, and I will not mention her name, but I think you guys probably know who
exactly who that is, because I was part of exposing that person. I know
if anybody has been in this community since 2020, we know all about that little bitch.
I'm sorry. I am sorry that happened.
I didn't know that's where it started, Jeff.
Yeah,
I didn't know that was a factor for you. Really, truly.
That was a massive. That was.
I'm sorry.
And this is why I would never in a million years speak to that person ever again. After what
she tried to pop in, she tried to come back in with another name, and I called out. I said, "You know who that is?" And they kicked her out of. They blocked her on the street.
Yeah,
she tried to come in on a different account. She used the same fucking picture, and one of the words was the same.
Yeah, and I
come on.
I felt bad because I was like one of the first people to plug her GoFundMe because I was literally the first person to donate.
Oh no, Jeff! Of course you did. It was your friend you
You
trusted.
did it out
right?
of love. You did it out of love. Like
I
people,
did.
There's nothing wrong with that.
did.
That doesn't
I know,
fall on you,
and
man.
I will
Right.
say I did. Yes, I got my money back off of that, but
right.
what
Good.
the hell? But it was more. I had told her she knew what the fuck I was going through, because she's one of the few people I told about what was going on with my sister, and that
Yeah.
bitch fucking started that up like a week after my sister died, and Jesus, I'll never forgive her for that. I will never forgive her for that.
Did you
I
know?
don't blame you. I wouldn't either.
You know that Uni Rock was quote unquote the lead of that quote unquote, but he wasn't. But
No,
and you know,
yeah,
Nate, the lawyer was highly involved in sorting her out. But honestly, it was people with cancer that came to us, people that are suffering from cancer that came to us and said, "This bitch is lying." And so like it's a really hard call to go. Something this sensitive and something this serious to go, I don't believe this GoFundMe. I don't believe this person. And it's really dangerous to do this. And there were so many people that were hand wringing going, I know this person's lying. What do I do? And I don't take any glee in the fact that people that were kind to her and loving got hurt by her. Like, I think it's awful. And I'm glad that you're able to talk about that. But in the light of what you've suffered, I'm so sorry to hear that. I had no idea about that part.
Thanks, Beck. Yeah,
Really
I've not. There's a few people that have known that part of it but I've mainly said that in private because I was so fucking angry that I mean, to be honest, yes, if it had happened at any other time, maybe I'd have been a bit more skeptical of it. But she caught me at a very, very vulnerable moment.
Yes, and that is not cool.
And
it's hard to be skeptical about cancer. Who the fuck wants to be skeptical about cancer? It's awful.
I know. You always want to help the other
because you don't want to think that anyone would lie about that, you know. But she definitely caught me at a time where I was very, very vulnerable to that. And the thing was, like I said, this was someone who I considered a friend, and I felt I was quite close to, and I had told her what was going on with my sister, which is something I had not confided in a lot of people. And no, so fuck that bitch.
Yeah. I'm sorry. That's just awful. I lost my brother that same year in 2020, and I'll tell you this in my experience. He died a very, what I feel like is an awful death, and it due to addiction. And I'll tell you this, I feel like it's so fresh, and maybe it's the pandemic in part, but I know that it happened in 2020 and it's 2023, so it's like 3 years ago almost, right?
Yeah.
But it feels like it's this year still. Like, I don't know how to explain it, and it makes sense.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know if that's a pandemic thing or just a grief thing.
I still can't.
It's been 30 some years since my mom died, and I'm still not over it. You know, somebody that close to you, I don't think it ever leaves. You know, you maybe neutralize it a bit, but it still always hurts. It just, at least for me, I have to say.
It's the same way with me, Jenny. It's been 34 years, and it still hurts. It hurts different now because I've learned so much about myself and what really happened, and I don't have that ever-laden guilt on my shoulders, but it still hurts.
I still
it's been 34 years.
And it's been like 3 years. I still cannot bring myself to even like delete my sister's phone number from my mobile. It's you know.
Can I tell you, Jeff, how upset I was when I switched phones because the old phone wasn't worth shit? I had one of those old LG phones and I had pictures of her on it. And I tried to like take pictures of the pictures. I got one that came out okay, but it doesn't even look like her in the picture. It does barely even looks like me because it's so pixelated. I was so upset because you couldn't transfer photos back then. I held on to that phone until I literally lost it because it had the pictures, and not just pictures. More importantly, it had voicemails from her. Her voice saying, "Hey, doing? Give me a call." That's how she talked. Doing? What are you doing? That's all she'd say is doing.
How you doing?
Yeah, she would just say doing. And I picked it up from her, and to this day, I still use doing. So, but I kept that phone until that phone wouldn't even turn on anymore, and I couldn't listen to it anymore.
I still have
it was the only way I could hold on to her voice.
Yeah.
I still have all my father's contact information in my contacts listing, and that's been since 2011.
I have my brother's voicemails on my phone, and unfortunately it's when he's sick. But it feels, you don't want to delete it because I don't know.
It's like you're
voice,
losing another part of them.
Like you're afraid you'll forget it or something. Yeah.
That's like my sister has a old
I'm really
VCR
sorry,
tape.
guys, but I'm really sorry to interrupt,
Jeff?
guys. I am going to have to go. Beck, thanks for having me on.
Thank you for coming. I appreciate you.
Jenny, always nice to speak to you. Spackle, I don't know if we've been in a stream. I think we might have been in the stream once or twice before, but really nice to talk to you, honestly.
Yeah,
so
it's good to talk to you. Yeah, we've been on Map Big streams and I think maybe Beck stream before. Yeah.
Yeah. But I am gonna have to call it a night because I've got to get up for work in about 5 hours, so I better get some sleep in. So
yeah. No, I appreciate you coming by, Jeff. I always love to talk to you. So take care, and
cheers.
thank you for being honest and vulnerable, and
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I'll admit I've been having a couple of drinks during the stream, which probably means I confess. Yeah. Shocker, Jenny. I know. Shocker, Jenny. I know. Me having a drink. I know, but but probably meant I confessed to one or two things that I wouldn't normally. But
hey, Jeff, before you
makes
go,
me see you differently in a good way, like not in a bad way.
Thank you. That's good.
Jeff, before you go, I did something today I've never done before, and I just gotta share it. I made arrangements to go to Rochester, Minnesota, to a pot dispensary to buy some pot. Yay!
Oh, nice.
She's going across state lines, folks.
No, I'm in Minnesota.
Well, I hope you get well and truly baked, Jenny.
Thank you very much.
Why do I keep thinking you're in Wisconsin?
Because I'm right across the river from Wisconsin, and I go there.
Right, oh, yeah, that's what it is.
Well, I was listen. Like 2 weeks ago, I went over to Amsterdam for a few days when I had a bit of money spare. So, yeah, you can imagine what the hell I got up to out there, just with like smoking weed or whatever, So,
yeah, I bet that was fun. I'd love to go on an overseas vacation. What I really love to do is go visit Italy because that's where I'd love to go visit Denmark and Italy so I can see where my family came from.
I'll say this: I went to Italy for a few days, going back a long time ago, but well worth a visit. It's a country; it's well worth seeing.
Well, one of the things I'm interested in is to go because they weren't from like Rome or some big place. They were from these, like if you made a V from Rome at an angle, one of them was from Mirabella and the other one was from Meclano. So I really want to visit those two towns and just see if there's any more Embrianos running around there. They have to be,
Yeah.
So I feel bump into anybody I'm related to.
I feel quite lucky in the sense the fact that I am in the UK and like with Europe, there's even though it's such a small continent, there's so many different cultures and languages.
I know
throughout Europe,
it's amazing.
And I think I feel I'm quite lucky that so much of it is fairly close to me. I'm planning next year. I probably will go back to Holland for like 2 days, but I'm going. I'm looking go because Sweden somewhere I've always wanted to go to, and I'm hopefully planning on going to Stockholm for a few days. So
that'll be interesting.
I feel like I'm touring Amsterdam right now. There's this new for us over on this side of the pond, TV series that Masterpiece Theater is doing called Vandervalk. It all takes place in Amsterdam.
I've heard of it. Okay. Yeah,
and it's just of course you see the sights of the town and stuff like that. What an amazing city that looks like.
Cool.
It is, but at the same time, you can kind of see Amsterdam in like 3 days, honestly.
I guess that depends on how stoned you get.
You might not ever leave the little dispensary restaurant place.
Or you might fall in with some hooker and go get a job yourself. You don't know.
No, they only give you 15 minutes, like 50 euros, Jenny. I've worked that out.
50 minutes for $50 for 15 minutes? That's a good deal. Jeez.
It's way cheaper than the U.S. I mean, now, hold on. That's cheap if you're not getting STDs in the meantime.
Okay, listen. Okay. But I'm not saying this. Okay, listen. Because I don't know what people's feelings on sex work are. Okay, as a profession.
Legalize it.
Yeah, I kind of view that as a thing, but yeah, that's kind of where I stand on it, Spackle, honestly. But I hate to come across that I'm objectifying women in any way, but I will say this: some of the girls in the windows there, what we would call hotties.
Well, that's the whole idea.
Yeah,
we are human beings. It's okay to think someone's hot.
I'd hate to objectify anyone, but there's some very, very hot women in the window shopping over there.
I would like to see sex work being made legal in the United States, but it's never going to happen because Americans are too afraid of sex.
Yeah, we'll go to Britain. Just see what that's like. Yeah, it's even worse.
Well, we also don't teach just because something's legal doesn't mean you have to participate. And that's what's frustrating to me. It's like, if I look at the good and the bad of like how we treat sex workers, if you were a friend of mine and you said, "Hey, I'm a sex worker," I would go, "I don't know if that's a good profession." I might have a personal opinion about it, right? But it's also my personal opinion that sex workers deserve the same rights as everybody fucking else. And I want them to have the same protection and be able to go to the cops if something awful happens, or, you know what I mean? Or it shouldn't have to haunt them. If they decide to leave the industry and go into another industry, these people that are attacking these people, like, "Oh, you were a teacher, but you posed as a lingerie model. That's not even a sex worker." Just the bullshit people do. It's like, no, like there's no reason to discriminate.
I think all the major cities should have a sectioned off, like, red light area with protection, like security or cops driving through constantly, so those people are safe, because people are going to pay for it. It is an actual job. There are people that make money off of it. Would I ever do it or let anybody I know do it? Fuck no. But I'm not them. That's fine. It's their thing. I don't care that they do it. They're maybe keeping some guy from raping someone. So I'm cool with it, because that's how I look at it.
I mean,
so yes, they should be protected. They shouldn't just be killed because they are a sex worker. It's not okay.
I suspect this is kind of what at least the people in Amsterdam will try and sell you on, is that the girls are all self-employed and so on. But yeah, I mean, looking into it, yeah, there are still some issues even in some of the Holland. there are still some issues with like trafficking and like women being trafficked and stuff. It's not, you know, it's not an all it or nothing situation. But I do think they have a generally more healthy attitude towards it than a lot of the world does. It's not to say that but it's not to say that everything's perfect out there by a long stretch. The imagination. I mean, look, hey, if they legalized it here, like I said, the only way if sex work got legalized here, because the only way I could ever get involved in it, because let's face it, no one's going to pay to screw me, is probably I'd end up unionizing them, which is probably the only way I'd ever get involved. And
Jeff, I don't know.
I would end up unionizing them.
I think someone would pay you if you like got this thing where they couldn't like see your face or your body and just your wang was there and you didn't talk or anything like that.
Yeah, you know.
I'm sorry,
man. It's a good thing you two love each other, Jenny. Jesus Christ.
Hey, Jenny. Someone's always into a hate fuck. I don't, you know.
Oh, actually, Commander, you are alive.
I've said
but
for
it's
years,
8 minutes till you go live.
Yeah, I've said for years, the only people that want my body are medical science. So you know. Anyway,
same, because the doctors couldn't figure out how I lived last time.
I really must jump off now, so I'll
get out of
see
here.
you guys
Love
later.
you,
right,
go to bed.
Right.
Peace.
Yeah, see you later. Right.
Alone. Commander, what is the name? The link is great, but what's the name of the channel for those of us who can't use links?
It's Commander 401.
Oh, okay.
Capital C and all one word. Commander 401. Yeah, they're going to be starting in a few minutes, and I am going to end this at 5 out of respect for Commander. So we're going to end a little hour early tonight. So you guys, there is the link. Jump on over there. They're going to be live. You can hang out in the chat. You can get on and talk about the movie and laugh with them, whatever you want to do there.
Maya's tonight too, right?
I'm sorry?
Is Maya tonight too as well?
Oh, I'm getting there. Oh. And then after that, because that will last about an hour and 45 minutes, maybe 2 hours at the outside, depending on how quick they start. You guys can go on. It gives you half an hour gap. And then at 9:30 Eastern, Maya will be starting with Dr. Tap with some Bad Science Sunday, some BSS. So, grab your drinks, your pot, make sure you're fucked up for it because no one can handle that shit sober. And we will see you guys at Commanders and at Maya's. Jenny, you have anything you want to show before we jump off?
Nope. Just Purple next Wednesday as usual at 2 o'clock Central, and that's about it.
Okay. How about you, Spackle?
Sorry, I was toggled out looking at Commander's channel. I'm back. Anything happening with me? No. I think I've got a project in the works with Savage Minnow, but I don't have a date. So, but when I do, I'll be shilling it out. We have some fascinations with certain cults right now. We'll just put it that
cults
way.
are fun to pick apart, aren't they? They're bizarre. Yeah, that ought to be fun. Yeah, so if you guys
I'm
are
always
into
picking on fundamental Christianity, so there's that too.
I was gonna say if you guys are into someone picking on fundamentalists and cults and all that crap and that's crazy side of Christianity or whatever freaking belief they have, go hang out with Spackle and you'll have a laugh because man, some of the shit these people say. So
what day is your show usually on, Spec?
Oh yeah,
that's a
good question.
Was your show usually on?
What day? Oh, I'm whatever day I feel like. So a lot of times it's Mondays because I'm off on Mondays. But when we do this show, I think the one that I'm talking about, we're probably gonna be on Minnow's channel.
I see.
But when I get a date, I'll definitely share. Yeah.
Okay, so you guys remember out there, I love you all to death. Take care of yourselves, take care of one another, and have some damn peace in your life. See y'all later. All right, you crazy people. You stay cool. Keep it real. Keep an eye out for each other. Suck in that content you love. Dance like nobody's watching. Go after your passions and enjoy them. I'm out. Peace.